food chain. Trapping the cocaine, no game. Shooter with no names. You can play toe games, the whole game. Kicking your dough, man. Yeah. Put on the paddock, pop it, set it, I'm at it. Break the mattress with a battery on the addict. Diamond glasses, need some glasses for the flashes, yeah. Michael Jackson with the fashion, bitch, I'm dabbing, yeah. I do this shit on purpose, got the bitches slurping. All your pockets on hurting, nigga, you could be my servant. Go to the line, young nigga, don't listen, I purchase. After I cut up the thought, I give her some money for service. Wherever I go, the whole gang gon' go. Yeah, you cannot tame the hoe because she won't fame for sure. You think that you rich cause you got 100 or more. I got an overload, look like I just sold my soul. I pull up before a leader, I got the stripes, Adidas. I got a farm, mama, see it, and I've been known to beat it. Niggas ain't going defeated, we get the guns immediate. No running the group is an idiot, these niggas is broken, it's pitiful. Automatics, in the trunk, shoot the maggots with the pump. Got it, natty, love the paddock on my arm. He got static, pussy nigga, run your charm. Ghostface killers, Wu-Tang, 21 News Gang. Drug dealers in the Moussain, at the top of the food chain. Trapping the cocaine, no game. Shooter with no names. You can play toe games, the whole game. Kicking your dough, man.
Yeah, Kim Jong, yeah, big bomb. Wonder bread, man, make your bitch lick crumbs. Yeah, out of my pocket, flooded, got my wrist numb. Link, grab the hit stick, nigga tryna blitz some. Dope boy, I sell coke, boy. You broke ass rappers, food, it's a po' boy. Everybody the same, all these niggas sound alike. Yeah, Fox 5 gang, turn you to a candlelight. Bitch boy on my mobster, shrimp in my pasta. Jamaican dun da da, hang round the shotters. Mad Max, nigga, yeah, I hang with the killer. Planet of the Apes, yeah, I hang around gorillas. I got AK, SK, HK, broad day. You a fuck boy, we ain't with the horseplay, bitch. Trump ass nigga, did you do your chores today? Do you wanna take a ride with the coroner today?
Automatics, in the trunk, shoot the maggots with the pump. Got it, natty, love the paddock on my arm. He got static, pussy nigga, run your charm. Ghostface killers, Wu-Tang, 21 News Gang. Drug dealers in the Moussain, at the top of the food chain. Trapping the cocaine, no game. Shooter with no names. You can play toe games, the whole game. Kicking your dough, man.
Drop from the heavens straight in the wild. Trunk in the front, top got a slide.
Today, we're going to talk about the weekend NFL and college football slate, winners for tonight, and of course, the BTL squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Well, Chad, I thought we were going to get through an entire football game without Jalen Hurts doing something stupid, but then he did this. How are people still in on the Eagles? It makes no sense. This team is a fraud. Jalen Hurts is a fraud. Sirianni's a fraud. This defense is bad. Jalen Hurts has lost a step. He had one good season. Be realistic. This guy's a pick machine. He's inaccurate, and he's not a great passer. Jalen Hurts is a fraud, and so are the Eagles. Go ahead and give me the Rockies on the ML. And I want to fade Arizona once again. No chance they lose a second game in a row to the Rockies, right? No chance.
Snell's locked in, Krabs. The Orioles bats are awful. We're taking more so just to make dudes pissed off, really, is what I'm taking.
I mean, gentlemen, the White Sox are 35-115. They've won 10% of their games for the season in the last 3 fucking games. Whoever is in charge of that squad, organization, program, minor leagues, major leagues, should be fired and not allowed in the sport ever again.
Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments, regardless.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, the best BTL of the week. Episode 559 piece, as always, hold the fry. Joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, if you're not using Bookit Pro, if you bet every day, you are a step behind. Go check it out. I promise it'll be worth your while. You'll keep using it. Go check out Bookit. You can start out with the free version. Okay, Jovan, how we doing? Happy Friday.
Good. Up and moving.
W's. Well, great call on the squad ride, my man, last night. Great fucking work. And Shaq, great work as well. Weeding out my cake and locking in a winner for last night. We can go ahead and get right to it. We'll show the squad ride recap here. W's.
Shout out to Sam Houston boys.
Yeah. Shout out the Bearcats. Shout out Brad Cornelson. Never giving up. Even putting in the backup QB.
Yeah, Brad Cornelson masterclass in the second half, low key. Even though UTEP is just that moose, I could probably do that against them. But your boy was cooked. Good job.
UTEP might be that bad. They might just be that bad. I mean, look, it was an absolute shit show out there. Turnovers, mistakes, although they did get blessed with that one touchdown. They probably could have had a couple, and they had one taken off the board as well. I thought UTEP was going to cover at some point in that game, but they definitely did not deserve it. And Sam Houston took care of business, still won that game by 20, and cashed the over for the squad ride. W's, chat. W, Jovan. Great work. Chad, how we doing? Happy Friday. Here's what we're gonna do today. We got a lot to go over. College football and NFL for the weekend. Okay, we'll get to it. But first, we'll go over the Sharp Report here in a little bit and talk about some of these college football games tonight. We've got a couple for tonight, 4 games involving some pretty solid teams. Maybe not the greatest games, but plenty to talk about and plenty of winners to be found. Why don't we go ahead and recap the Sharp Report before we get to all the good shit and the winners for today? Let's go take a peep at that puppy. Not our best work. Not our best work. 2 and 3 from both of us, Jovan. Any comments?
Yeah, not our best work, especially in the game. I guess that was the majority of the losses. The NFL game, somehow, some way, which was probably weirdest game of all time, somehow, some way. But yeah, we got some winners today, I think, and definitely have some winners this weekend. Also, I don't want to let it slip because we do have puck drop in 7 minutes, apparently.
Oh, wow. Sure.
So yeah, Sabres are on the Sharp Report before we get to that.
Sabres ML?
Yeah.
Okay. W Nug. We'll get to that here in a moment. Why don't we go ahead and recap King of the Board, and we'll get the steamed crabs out of the way here.
I also want it to be known that it is 10-4 day. Today is 10-4 day, just so you know.
Wow. October 4th, 10-4 day. We'll have to tell Trent when he hops on for the NFL. And guys, we do have a debut for Rav on the show today as well, as he comes in and resubs. W Rav. He's going to be coming on for college football today and talking some winners. And then we'll get Trent on here for NFL when we go over the weekend previews. All right. But first, did we already flash that King of the Boards? Get that puppy out of there. That's enough fucking screen time for that shit graphic. Not a single winner on there yet.
Moose.
Not a single winner on there yet. World record. Worst King of the Board week of all time. Can't make it up. I got one more thing to bitch about. Why don't we hop to it? Goodsy, run that shit. I want to bitch. Jovan, this might have been the worst Prize Picks lineup in the history of Prize Picks lineups. This two-piece right here. Ismail, I mean, this guy had 36 yards. Hilarious, too. He scored a touchdown the first drive. Can't make it up. You'd think that maybe he'd get more than 12 carries or be the starting running back then, but nope. Immediately got taken over by Burgess, who turned into prime Adrian Peterson.
Magically came back yesterday unannounced and apparently is the starter now.
Prime AP was what Burgess looked like out there on the field. Ismail, he never had a chance. His confidence was gone immediately after he saw Burgess go in there and turn into the greatest running back of all time. Can't fucking make it up. And that's not even the worst square in this, chat. Ismail had 36 yards. It wasn't even close. He didn't even get halfway there. Kirk Cousins had 500 yards himself last night in that game. What was going on with that Bucs defense? It looked like they weren't even trying to tackle, like they were trying to lose on purpose. I've never seen defenses play that lazy. I've never seen defenses tackle worse. I've never seen teams throw the ball downfield and have defenders nowhere near in sight as much as I did last night watching that Bucs defense. It was a joke, an absolute joke. Kirk Cousins did whatever he wanted. Whatever he wanted. I mean, the guy passed the ball 58 times.
Yeah.
58 times? 58 passes? 500 yards. I mean, he cashed this himself. That was the worst fucking square I've ever given out. Apologies. We're bouncing back today. We got in the lab. I love my squares tonight. I love the squares this weekend. Only one way and it's up. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Before we get to the Sharp Report for today and dive into some plays and some winners, real quick, guys, make sure you check out the coin toss later today or tomorrow before the college football games start up. Really good episode once again. Check out the coin toss. Fire app. It's on YouTube, Bookit Sports. Go watch that. Leave a comment as well. I believe they're doing a $200 giveaway. Get involved. Go check out the video. We'll drop the link in the chat here for the coin toss that just released, I believe, yesterday. Get involved. All right. W Production, W Show, W Jovan on that puppy, W Rav on that puppy, Lauren, Mike. You guys are absolutely killing it. Keep doing it. All right. Make sure you guys check out that show. We'll drop the link in the chat. Okay. Why don't we hop over and talk about some plays for today? Can we go to Jovan's first, and can he give his little sell job on the ice? That's the first time I've said that in a while. Wow. Let's go to the ice, and let's go to Jovan's plays. Tell me about the Sabres. What do you got?
Yeah, I wanted to get involved. I don't really love the card today, but I probably would get involved either way in this game. So we have something to sweat midday. I want to take the Sabres. The Devils are, getting a lot of hype coming into this season. I think rightfully so, but this is the first game. They're dealing with injuries, especially like on the defensive side, which really hurts the new style of offense they're going to be running this season. So I feel like game one is a pretty tough situation to go into, especially because it's the global series, and then you have the Sabres on the other side that they've been there for a little bit already. The Devils just came over there recently, and the Sabres have been playing there with their essentially their starting lineup for a couple of days now, or a couple of games now. I think they've been there for like a week and a half. So I feel like the Sabres, who I'm pretty high on, especially like a couple of the lines at the top that are coming back, a lot of young guys, a lot of energy. They got the coach returning after 12 years, I think, maybe more than that. Crabs, bro. But I want to take the value with the Sabres game one here. The Sam Houston jersey might be the difference.
Dude, they might go win the fucking natty themselves. Unbelievable. Brad Cornelison seems to be absolutely dialed in. If he was calling plays half as good at VT, we'd fucking go to a natty as well. It's unbelievable. Is this not the ugliest jersey you guys have ever seen created? Why did they sell these? Why do they make them? They don't wear jerseys like this anyways. Why are they selling these? Who else is buying these? Who was buying these fucking men's league softball jerseys with the Digi-Camo? Digi-Camo came out 10, 15 years ago. It was the coolest thing on the block. Get over it. It's done. Why is this on the website? Who else is purchasing this jersey? Ah, fucking UTEP, man.
We just got
UTEP.
5 sub bangs apiece from Aloha and Aries.
All right,
Shout
there
out to
we go. They
Goats.
like seeing the fucking Sam Houston jersey.
They love the Sam
2 words,
Houston
chat.
jerseys.
Houston. We got Aloha Bets, 5 subbies. We got Aries coming in, giving out 5 subbies. Love to see it, gents. My 2 goats. W's. Great vibes on a Friday. Let's fucking lock in. Jovan, I like to play. Do I need to get involved on the ice? Would you be playing this if it was a regular, NHL day? Or are you just trying to get involved on opening day?
I probably would play it on a normal NHL day, but it's also
Okay.
It's the start of the season, kind of for them, not really for everybody else. So I take a lot of dogs early season anyway. So this just kind of fits the mold.
Sure. All right, chat. Jovan is on the Sabres on the ML at plus chicken, and that starts up in literally 1 minute. So if you want to get involved on the ice, he's got a play for you. We'll go ahead and move on to my plays, and I can go over some of these winners that I like for today. Why don't we start out with Kennesaw State? I'm taking their team total under. Kennesaw State is that bad. We saw how bad a program can be right now in the time of NIL and how far they can fall off with UTEP last night. UTEP just no pulse. Kennesaw State in a very similar boat, if not worse. This Kennesaw State team, Jovan, I'd be shocked if they put up 2 touchdowns. Hence why I'm taking the team total under here. But I think they get absolutely destroyed by a motivated Jacksonville State squad that's coming into this game 1-3. We know they had a great season last year. Rich Rod's a really good coach. I'm buying into this Jacksonville State defense, Jovan. They looked pretty good in their last game, finally, for the first time this season, but they looked great all last season, and we know Rich Rod's defense is typically pretty solid here. They were great last year. They started out the season terrible this season, but they looked a lot better against Southern Miss in their last game, Jovan. They only allowed 7 points in that contest, and I think their defense will be just as good against Kennesaw State, who's even fucking worse than Southern Miss, and they're atrocious as well. But Jacksonville State's having a little bit of extra time as well with the bye week to prepare for this. They're going to come in rested, healthy, and I think they have an edge there with Kennesaw State. And the total in this game, sure, it moved up 1 point, but the spread, it moved like 4 points, 4.5 points towards Jacksonville State. I don't see a world where they don't cover this game, and I really don't think Kennesaw State puts up more than 2 tutties. I don't even think they put up 10 points, double digits. Give me their team total under. I think Jacksonville State keeps their foot on the gas pedal after starting 1-3 this season. I'm not even worried about a second half comeback or the backups going in. I don't think Kennesaw State has the juice, even with the 2s running out there for Jacksonville State. They're terrible.
Yeah, Kennesaw is rad. Really bad.
Terrible.
Really bad.
Terrible. If you guys thought you watched a bad program last night with UTEP, just wait till you put on Kennesaw State tonight. It's worse. And then I like the under in Syracuse and UNLV. I feel like Syracuse is a very, very popular play today for some smart people. I wouldn't say it's popular, too much splits-wise, but I've seen a lot of people who I do respect on the Syracuse side, but I do want to avoid that. I do lean Syracuse on the spread here. This will be the best, passing offense UNLV has seen so far this season, but this UNLV squad's legit, and their defense is very good as well. I want to lean on them to show up at home, and I think their offense, after a great week last week, they put in that backup QB after the whole NIL situation happens. That kid had a great fucking game. The QB from Campbell, the fifth-year guy who had plenty of experience and was supposed to be the starter anyways. I don't think after a big game in his first, his debut last week, I'm not banking on him going out there and shining. And there's some weird squares up on Prize Picks as well. I'm banking on Syracuse's defense to show up on the road at least minimally, and Williams to not be as effective for UNLV. I like the under in this game. I think it'll be a nail biter, low scoring, a little bit closer than people are expecting. I do lean Syracuse, but I'm not getting scared off by that total moving up a point. I don't care. It's probably because of all the bets on this over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, I'm on Syracuse, and the reason for that, I love fading quarterbacks after they have their one insanity start when they first get the job, whether they win it just because the other quarterback is moose or there's an injury, or I mean, this is a once in a lifetime situation potentially. But second game, I think we did this even with A&M, who I really like. Second start for Marcel Reed after he had a great game at Florida. What happened? They struggled. They almost lost to Bowling Green. The game went under. That was the route that we took. We've done this so many times. I mean, I'm on Syracuse for partially that reason, but the under, I think, is the same thing. I don't think the UNLV offense is going to be nearly as dynamic as they were last week or really all of this season.
I'm with you. A little bit of a letdown spot here for undefeated UNLV, who probably thinks they're fucking them. They lose their star QB to the NIL stuff. They still win that game, with ease, you could say. I feel like this is a spot where they get caught lacking. Syracuse comes in there, and I think their defense shows up on the road. So give me that under, and I lean Syracuse with you as well, Jovan. Let's go to your next two plays. Very, very curious to hear what you like in college football tonight. You already mentioned Syracuse, but go over that and Houston team total.
Yeah, like I said, I want to fade the UNLV angle. It's also, I think the line is quite a bit of an overreaction. I don't think UNLV is that good. If you look at like some of their big wins this season, you can even put that on quote unquote. It's against teams that I think are even worse than people realize, like Kansas, for example. So I'm not really fully buying in. I'm buying in that Malik Williams is a better fit for that offense and maybe more dynamic than Matthew Sluka was, and he's definitely a better fit for some of the guys and the playmakers out there. Like Ricky White loves him because he's throwing him the ball, but I feel like that defense really hasn't had a chance to get exposed yet, and who better to do it than that cast of offense for Syracuse, which has been shaky at times. They haven't been incredibly consistent, but McCord's looked better than expected. Gadsden is going to be a matchup problem because they're pretty small on the defensive side, so they've had trouble covering bigger tight ends, which that's going to be a problem. I know you'll talk about that in a little bit. And then the run game, too, with LaQuinn Allen and the offensive line, I think is a big-time problem. So I like Syracuse. I'll be riding with that. I think there's a chance they lose outright. It's just like not only do I like fading teams after their quarterback has a insanity game, first game after he wins the job, but this is also UNLV just getting ranked. I don't know why. I mean, they're undefeated with beating nobody, but I guess their momentum's riding high, and crazy story last week that we cashed on. So I think it might come down to a close this week. So give me Q's, and then also give me the Houston team total over. I think I've mentioned that a couple times, talked about it on the coin toss, talked about it here the last couple days. But they've gotten shut out the last two games. And the one difference, not only that they're facing better defenses than TCU, but they're facing really good run defenses in Cincy and Iowa State. So that's kind of the key to unlocking their whole offense, not just their regular run game with their caster running backs, but also with Donovan Smith and his legs. None of them were able to get loose, which is why they really couldn't move the ball. They're like the Big 12 version of, I don't know, your favorite dog shit offense like Iowa or any Big 10 team. But now they get to face a TCU team that's going to let them run at any point. They really struggle with mobile quarterbacks too. So Donovan Smith with his legs, that was going to be one of my favorite squares today, but I don't know why it's flashing on and off the Prize Picks board and it's not on right now. But they're going to score today. This is where they get their points, I think, early and often, and then TCU is going to have to use their offense to eventually outpace them. But it's going to come with 17 Houston points.
Houston. I like the play. I kind of want to get involved and take a little Houston to score first action here against your Frogs. What do you think about that play? It's probably pretty fat plus check.
Yeah, I mean, they probably win the toss and score first drive at this rate.
Yeah.
After they haven't.
That might be worth a little, 0.2 unit sprinkle there. Some change, some lunch money. Okay. I like the play. I love the sell job. And Syracuse, I think, is a great side as well. All right. Why don't we move on to some Prize Pick squares, or do I have one more straight bet for the people? I think I do. We got to go to the WNBA here, ladies and gents. How about a nasty under in a series that's gone over by far, like not really even close in the first two games? I know, Jovan, you had the Aces on your Sharp Report a couple days ago. Chat's asking if you still like them today, so you can go into that. But I like the under in this game after we saw the over hit in the first two, and the total in this game really still at the same number pretty much, give or take a point, that it was in the first two. And we're seeing it slowly trickle down today as well, with the splits looking extremely sharp on the under. I'm willing to bank, with the change of scenery now going back to Las Vegas in this game. I think Vegas's defense stands up, and I think Liberty, honestly, their offense gets shut down here and the Aces win. I like that play you had a couple days ago, but I'm banking on another nasty under in a series. It's sort over in the first two games with a total that looks weird to me. Thought it would be around 170 after the first two games sort over. The fact that it's, the same number it was last game and trickling down with the splits looking as sharp as it is a great sign, I believe. And I think if the Aces want to win this game, stop the bleeding, it's going to have to be with their defense. They're going to have to be physical here.
Yeah, Mom, pause Aces. I still like them in this game, back against the wall, but they're going to have to pull out every defensive adjustment they have in their bag. I don't know how many of those are, but whatever they got in their bag, because whatever they've been doing first two games ain't working, especially late in the game down the stretch. So I think they win back against the wall. Maybe has to come with their first decent defensive performance in ages.
All right. This might still not be Mom Pa's Aces, but let's hope their defense stands up here at home. Love this under late night in the WNBA. All right. Prize pick squares. And then we'll head into the college football weekend preview, talk about the games tonight a little bit more in depth, and get Rav on here. Let me go over my two squares real quick. I'm going to take Oronde Gadsden, more than 4.5 receptions for Syracuse. Now, stick with me here, guys. He did not have a great week last week, but that's because they were playing a crummy team. They were destroying them, and I don't even think the starters really play that much in the second half. They're not going to risk an injury to their stud tight end, who, by the way, his dad was an NFL receiver for years. This kid, Oronde Gadsden, is going to be an NFL tight end. He's probably one of the least talked about tight ends in college football. And like Jovan said earlier, we've seen, this squad give up some yards and points to tight ends this season. So I do think Syracuse, after not feeding Gadsden last week when he only had one catch, I would not be surprised one bit if we see UNLV give up some more, yards and catches potentially here to Syracuse stud tight end, who has not gotten involved too much in the offense the last 2 weeks. And chat saying it's off the board.
I bet. I literally bet.
Well, the chart
You're too sharp, Krabs.
extremely red. The chart was extremely red. Yeah, it might be a little too sharp there, Goodsy. Chart was extremely red. He's coming off of one catch in his last game. He's up for 4.5. And I think it's because not only does he have a great matchup against a defense that struggled against tight ends this season, and this is by far the best they're going to face all year, I thought it was weird that he was all the way up at 4.5. I think he'll be a main factor of the offense. This kid's a stud. You're going to see it once again tonight. That sucks that they took it off the board.
Yes,
do they have anything else for my guy or no? Let's see.
They still have his yards up?
They still have his yards up. 52.5. Why don't we give it some time? We'll see if they put it back up. Maybe the number's different. But I would not mind pivoting to the receiving yards if needed. Okay, because that's also extremely red. He's had 16 combined yards in the last 2 games. But that's a little skewed because he really didn't play much in the second half. All right. And then I'm going with Haj Malik Williams, less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Already kind of talked about it. And this is in the same game, guys. I love the under in this game. And he had a fucking legacy game last week. He was passing, he was running, he was doing everything. The guy looked like Kyron Drones, what he was supposed to be. He looked like, Jalen Hurts out there, college version. He looked like an absolute beast. But what do we know about Haj Malik Williams? He's not typically as good of a passer as he was in that game. And he'll be facing a much, much better defense, the best defense he's faced all season. Probably the best defense he's faced in his career, considering he came from Campbell tonight. And I think he'll struggle a little bit more. The chart, green after he had a great game last game. I want to fade. Love the under in the game. I think Syracuse is the right side here. And if Malik Williams wants to score, it's going to be on the ground more. He's way more of a rushing running QB than he looked like in that last game where he was hucking it around, dominating for UNLV. It's going to be on the ground today for the Rebels.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm in on that.
Love that less than. Let's go to your prize pick squares here. What do you got for us? Ooh.
Take Savion.
Savion, your guy.
I'm a big Jack Besh guy, but he is the most popular square on prize picks today. And I guess for all of college football, and his number's getting super high, which is crazy. But he's literally Baby Cooper Cup. I feel like this game lends itself to Savion a little bit more because Houston's defense is not bad. Like they honestly would be even better. Like their numbers would be really, really good if their offense could stay on the field and give them something to work with. But the defense has actually been pretty good. The one thing they do, though, they play a lot of man coverage. They play press man a lot of the time, and they give themselves room for a lot of contested catches and jump balls. They just really haven't played many bigger receivers yet, which is the problem. And when they have, it's been easy pickings. And Savion Williams, I give him a lot of shit because he can't catch the easy balls, but He sure as hell can give you contested catches over guys. That's exactly what he does. He's like the J.R. Smith of wide receivers. So I feel like this game is exactly what's going to happen. I do think Houston's going to score, so it'll be a little more competitive. And unlike the last couple of games against Cincy and Iowa State, there's going to be a throwing game script. There's also the fact that TCU can't run the ball anyway, so they're always in a throwing game script, no matter if they're winning or losing. But I feel like this is perfect game for Savion Williams. So I'll be all in on him. Then we go with K'Ron Lynch-Adams, who I think has effectively won the job now, because Carter, I think he outsnapped Carter last week, and that was one of like the big start of it. I think it kind of lended itself that way for a couple weeks now, but he's the guy. And if I'm Michigan State coming into this game, I do think it'll be somewhat close, maybe a little closer than the spread indicates, because Oregon's got a little look ahead spot going next week. But if I'm Michigan State, I want to keep the ball out of Aiden Child's hands really as much as possible. That dude is moose. Sorry, Mikey. And I feel like if he throws the ball too much, it's probably going to end up in Oregon's hands more than it's not. So I feel like early in the game especially, they're going to have to establish the ground game. Oregon's been a little vulnerable in that area when they've played teams that can actually run the football so far this season. So I feel like it all starts with K'Ron. And from that point on, they can establish the run early and keep it close. It's probably going to be a lot of run game, a lot of Bookit Chew, which I can very well see happening.
Okay. You got some stones taking a running backs more than rushing yards for a team that's plus 23.5 on the road. It's so crazy. It just might work. Just might work. Okay. All right. Well, W's. Love those prize pick squares, Jovan, and good to see you're going with your guy, Savion Williams there. Hilarious that Becht is the most popular square tonight in college football. Maybe it'll be your guys' Savion's night. I'm in. Sign me up. All right, why don't we get Rav on this puppy? Can we get some W's for Rav? Let's get the vibes up. Let's get Rav in here. W first timer on BTL, I believe. Rav, how we doing? You excited to talk about these 4 college football games?
And muted.
You hear me?
And get muted.
Hey,
there he is.
There we go.
Sure.
10s.
Sure.
There we go.
W's. Rav, how we doing?
How are we?
In Trent's office, in his little lair. Good to see you. You excited to talk some college football?
Dude, yes. Yes, I'm glad you guys got it going. Some good points raised so far.
W's. All right, well, why don't we go over the 4 games for tonight? We're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I do want Rav's takes here in college football, and we can remind the people what plays were on Jovan in these 4 college football games. Why don't we start out with the worst one? Jacksonville State and Kennesaw, and we can check out the splits here on Pickett Pro as well while we go over this, gents. Let's talk about it. Rav, I don't know what your thoughts were. I'm on Kennesaw State team total. I think they're absolutely moose shit, and I think they're going to be even worse than UTEP was last night. I'm going to just fade that absolutely atrocious program. Then in the time of NIL, I don't think they have a pulse or a chance.
Yeah, and you know what? I get flashbacks from Nam from Jacksonville State, so
yeah.
I should play Rav.
I'll probably not even just touch that one. Kennesaw State 0-4, probably one of the worst teams in all of college football this year, so that'll be
probably
one
the worst.
Touch. Yeah.
Probably the worst. Yep. This game is so nasty, they don't even have it on Pickett Pro. They don't even have it up. All right. Well, I'm on Kennesaw State team total. Why don't we move on to a real game here? Let's go to Houston and TCU. Would love your guys' thoughts. We already know Jovan's. He's on Houston's team total over. I think I lean the under in the game, although I could see Houston covering as well. I like that side. It kind of seems like the public likes that Houston side as well, though, guys. Look how much public money is coming in and bets on that spread. I'm surprised. Huh. Although, who the heck wants to take TCU right now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
With that defense? Yeah. All right.
I mean, I lean the over and Houston, but...
Okay. You like points?
I do like points. In a game like that where TCU's been gashed already, Houston's due to score. I mean, and I love Hoover, you know?
Yep. People forget Houston back-to-back goose eggs on offense.
Hard to do.
Look, they've played. It is hard to do. They played 2 solid defenses in Cincinnati and Iowa State, especially, but 2 goose eggs, back-to-back Shooks bagels. Come on, cannot be affording that. That is absolutely atrocious. So yeah, that's why I will not be betting the under in this game. Although I would love to fade an under in a game involving TCU because nobody thinks they can stop anybody, and their offense is actually really good. Houston dropping back-to-back goose eggs. I'm probably good on betting this game in general. I do lean Houston as a side. Not going to bet it because who the heck wants to bet TCU? And like you guys can see right here, nobody really is, at least on the spread on Pickett Pro. So Any other thoughts on this game, Rav? I know you said you like Houston the over. Why are you seeing points?
Well, Houston is due to score. I mean, no
Yeah,
points
they are.
last 2 games. You're just so due to score. TCU, Hoover's been able to throw the rock pretty well despite them not having the best of starts. I still think they can do that against the Houston defense that isn't too great. They're supposed to be the bottom barrel of the Big 12, so I could easily see points. That's where I would go
Mhm.
over.
I mean, Josh Hoover's at 40.5 pass attempts.
Yeah, I mean,
Unbelievable.
it's actually
Absurd.
unreal.
I'm hearing in chat, we finally got the puck dropped on the
Dude,
ice.
puck droppage.
How is hockey late in the first game of the season? But hey, I mean, the NBA is late every game, 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right. We're back, chat. We're back. Let's fucking go.
That is huge.
All right. This game, not the greatest. I know we got some solid, big name schools playing tonight, but not the greatest games, like Jovan was saying. Only really one spread, within a touchdown. Why don't we move on to Michigan State and Oregon? Michigan State look ahead line. They were getting 26.5. Now they're getting 23.5. Probably because Oregon has not looked super impressive this season. I know they're 4-0. They've taken care of business, but they have not looked like the elite team everybody expected them to be, I would say at this point. And I feel like you guys could probably agree with me there. Oregon has won games. They've done what they're supposed to do, but it hasn't looked as pretty as everybody expected. Me personally, I think Oregon shows up today, and I think they absolutely, curb stomp Michigan State in this game. I think they destroyed them. I think Michigan State, their little magic they had, their run in the beginning where they won a couple games, it's done. They've looked like absolute quail meat their last 2 games against Boston College on the roads and then against Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's good. They only put up 7 points against them. But I know at some point, Oregon is going to cover a football game. Now, they have covered 1 this season. I think actually maybe 2, including that Liberty game. Or no, that was last year. They've covered 1 game this season against Oregon State, probably one of their worst opponents. At some point, gents, they're going to show up on offense. And I think today could be the day against the Spartans, who people think are a little bit better than they actually are, I believe. Looking at that record, not really knowing how terrible they've looked the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's Oregon laying the big number here. I do. I think they win big.
Yeah, I don't 100% disagree. It's really hard for me to back Oregon knowing that they have Ohio State on deck next week.
Yeah. It's a good point. That's a massive look ahead spot.
I was going to say
Massive,
that.
dude.
Massive look ahead spots. Okay. Very good point there as well. Again, probably not going to get to the counter here, but I do lean Oregon as a side.
Here spawns Mr. Overs at the mention of Michigan State.
That is actually crazy.
Sure. He called it early. They look sharp. They did. We'll see if they can hang around. He's been a Michigan State supporter. We got 07 DJ Lean coming in, resubbing. I don't want to let these guys get swept under the rug here. Dilly Daggers coming in, resubbing. Let's have ourselves an absolute day. Leave the Red October in Philly and out of the picket charts. You're goddamn right, Dilly Daggers. Let's have a fucking day today. Billy and Goldfish coming in, resubbing as well. W's. Love that. Chat is up and moving, active. Vibes are up on a Friday. They love BTL Fridays. Let's keep moving and grooving here, gents. Are you surprised to see the splits here and see the Spartans, getting a solid chunk of bets on the spreads? Not too much. They're not public yet, but, I thought we'd see a little bit more bets and money on Oregon here in this spot. That surprises me a little bit. Makes me feel better
Oregon
about
just hooked everybody on a similar spread last week, did they not?
who wants to bet them?
Yep.
Yeah, nobody does. You're right.
Me. They
Yeah, besides us, maybe. Yep. Brutal. All right. Lean Oregon. Don't love anything in that one. And then one more game here, guys. Syracuse and UNLV. Jovan, you're on Syracuse spread. Sure. I'm on the under in this game. Really just fading that UNLV offense. I really thought about taking the team total under, but I said, fuck it. Kyle McCord on the roads. He's been pretty darn good this season so far. I can fade him as well. And I'll take that under in the game. The splits, they look really good for that under as well. Look at that, gentlemen. Look at all the bets and handle on that over so far. W's there. Okay.
My first impression of this game was over for sure, but I like the angle on the under, especially because this is the first Power 5 team that UNLV is playing.
The over makes an incredible amount of sense in this game.
Yeah, Malik Williams, I think, is the quarterback that the whole team has wanted them to start.
Mm-hmm.
All the news about Sluka came out last week, and all of their players went to Twitter and was like, keep him off. Like, go ahead and leave, go somewhere else. So I think that they have wanted Malik Williams to be in the spot, which kind of scared me about the under, but UNLV has some
Mhm.
dogs on that defense.
Yeah, they do. Their defense is good once again.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They are. All right. I agree. I agree. Any other points here in this game? Syracuse on the road at finally ranked UNLV, gentlemen.
Not too much, I don't
All
think.
right. Why don't we move and groove and get the college football preview up and moving?
Let's
Gootsy,
get that up and
run
moving.
that shit. All right, chat. You guys know the drill. We're locking in, giving you guys some winners for college football Saturday. We're going with the Mikey Over. We're going to Snooze Fest, which is an under. We've got a favorite. We've got an underdog and a meat on tape play, along with a couple prize pick squares as well. And good to have Rav on here for his debut. Hope you brought the juice, Rav. Hope you brought the winners, because we will hold you accountable and give you your flowers if you kill it, or we'll roast you next week when you're on here on Friday. Okay, so let's get into it. Why don't we go ahead and start out with the snooze fest, get those over with on the unders before chat falls asleep. And I'll get started out with a nasty under, fading Indiana, fading my guy Curtis Rourke, who's been an absolute stud in college football for a couple of years, was in the MAC. Now he's at Indiana. The boosters found their QB. W move for Indiana there. They're 5-0 and they're ranked. Now is when we fade in a huge letdown spot on the road at Northwestern, who's fucking terrible and scored 5 points last week. What a joke. Northwestern at home, who the heck wants to back them? Probably nobody, but in a really big letdown spot here for Indiana, moving that spread up from -9.5 to -13.5. I don't see a world where Northwestern's really going to be scoring much, but I do want to fade Indiana's offense here after they've been damn near perfect so far this season. What the heck did they have to get up for in this game? I love the under dropping from 45.5, that look ahead line, to 41.5, and probably some of the sharpest splits for an under on the board for Saturday. This is going to be one of those boring ass games at Northwestern that nobody ever wants to watch or talk about, and I'll lock in an under and cash. I'll meet you guys at the counter.
It could be Ma Krabs. Could actually be
Nasty,
Ma.
no fun under. It's hitting.
Yeah. You want to talk about
It's
nasty? JMU with a 48.5 total, I think, is
Bruh.
actually insane. Granted, UL Monroe is on the other side. Their offense, I mean, their quarterback gets 70 passing yard lines, but 2 weeks in a row, JMU has been the highest scoring team in all of FBS. They have 133 points over the last 2 weeks, sorry. And now we're seeing them with a 48.5 total that has not budged. And I think the line, honestly, is a little short for the game too. So I feel like this is a game where they finally struggle a little bit. They're going on the road. I'm not going to act like UL Monroe is just this vaunted place to play, because it's obviously not. But it's a weird situation. They just came off of a couple wins where they beat the shit out of North Carolina, and they beat the shit out of a really bad Ball State team. I believe that one was at home too. So now they're going on the road against a team who they know is not going to score and is going to do everything they can to milk the clock and keep the ball out of their hands. Their offense really isn't good enough to do that consistently, but I feel like there's definitely a reason this total is at 48.5. I feel like the offense finally struggles after looking like the greatest offense of all time the last 2 weeks. And I feel like if they were going to do anything significant in this game, I feel like the line would be higher and this total would not be sitting at 48.5, not budging like the slightest. This is like the last week, I guess, the UNC Duke total. I faded for almost the same exact reason. That total started moving down after UNC gave up 70, and the line on the game was also a little short. And look what happened. That game went under by 2 touchdowns. I feel like we're getting something similar. We get like a 30-7 game.
I mean, I absolutely love this play, Jovan. I mean, JMU has scored a combined like 120 points in their last 2 games. Sorry, 133 to be exact. 133 piece combined in their last 2 games, and we're seeing this total drop. I already thought it opened up low, probably because, Louisiana Monroe, their offense is atrocious. General Booty, their quarterback, is Booty. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. Their offense is not good. They're bad. I mean, look at their games this year. They're atrocious. They can't really score points. This is a perfect spot to take an under. Love this. Nasty number, dropping from 48.5 to 48 is what I'm seeing the opener at. Love it. Nasty. Rav?
Yeah, it's the Miami calendar for me. I actually gave this on the coin toss, and Javon and I kind of touched on it briefly. I like Miami's defense to bounce back after finally getting punched in the mouth last week. They're definitely a better unit than they showed last week. They're going to Cal, which kind of scares me. I hate fading travel, but Cal's offense has been nothing to write home about. Ott will be playing, which kind of scares me a little bit, but I think if Cal has any chance to win this game, it's going to be with some defense. I don't think that they will, but I do think that Soar's under.
Okay. Now I'm seeing the total right now at 54.
Yeah, I
You
might
have
have
50 and a
I might have
half?
given a wrong line to
A bad
Chase.
number. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah, I'm
that's on
seeing
me.
under 54 right now, so you can get a couple more points there.
Perfect.
All right. I mean, look, I'm down to fade Miami's offense. It's been an absolute wagon so far this season. Am I worried about Jade not carrying Cal's offense and keeping this game close and maybe pushing it over late in the fourth quarter? Sure, I am.
Yeah.
I probably won't be taking this, but like your sell job, and I like that you're fading Miami on the road here. Sure.
Miami's like my WAG, my ACC WAG. I know I talked to both of you about this, but they scared me big time last week.
Yeah. Bullshit
So,
game. They should be 4-1.
yeah.
Bullshit game.
I know I texted you about that. VT.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Season's over. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. W unders here, gents. I love them. Before chat falls asleep here from these nasty, nasty unders in college football, let's move on to some Mikey Overs for the weekend and talk about points. 2 words, chat, points. And I'll start out with my GOAT, McMillan, my GOAT Fafita in Arizona, whose offense has not looked as great as everybody expected so far this season, but they will on Saturday night. Okay, they got a late night game. I believe at home against Texas Tech, who has zero defense whatsoever. The total in this game is up from 61.5, that look ahead line, to 64.5. One of the only totals moving up. A lot of totals moving down this week. I love Arizona's offense that really has not put it all together so far this season, but they're coming off of playing their toughest defense they've faced so far this season in Utah, and they still found a way to scrape by 23 points. I think they take that confidence with that upset, not necessarily covering this game, although I do probably lean that way. But instead of backing them to pull off another great win back-to-back weeks, I'm just going to back their offense and isolate Arizona and take their team total here. I think Fafita goes absolutely nuts. His passing yards is higher than what he's been doing for good reason this week. Texas Tech's defense, not good. This will be a shootout. I'm scared about laying Arizona. I lean that way. Love seeing they're up to -6.5. But what I love even more is that total moving up as well with it. But give me Arizona. I'll isolate. I don't want to take the Red Raiders whatsoever.
Yeah, I have negative respect for the Texas Tech defense after watching Cincinnati with more backups than starters in the entire second half roll through them like it was nothing, dude.
They're just bad. They're bad. They gave up 41 points to Cincy. I mean, they gave up 22 to Arizona State the week before that. Arizona State, sorry, Rav, they're not great.
Their defense is actually kind of good in that game. I'll give them that.
They were actually kind of good in that game.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared about fading Texas Tech against a motivated Arizona squad coming off that big win back at home here, keeping their season alive, their playoff hopes alive.
And Devil's Bang.
I think they show up. We got a Devil's Bang.
We're always getting the first one. Always getting the first one.
Then why didn't we take that?
Can't take that, Krabs.
Cal got over is alive.
Yeah, life. How much time's left in the first? We got to root for goals.
Yeah, half.
Unless anybody on here has the under, sneakily.
You know why that just happened? Because Trent in chat said that the under in Prague was free.
Okay, and within 1 minute, we see a goal. Trent, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. All right, Jovan. Wow, VT carrying this over themselves when they cover and win by 20 because their season's over now and they have no expectations and no reason to be nervous. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Krabs. I do kind of think they win and cover this game, but I don't think it's going to be easy. Especially, I'm hoping that Ashton Daniels plays. The thing is, like, I feel like this total shouldn't be where it is, being the fact that his status is up in the air because they adjusted the line for VT, but the total stayed exactly, for the most part, exactly where it was on open. So I think, first of all, the VT defense, I feel like, is in for such a letdown. Not there to the steel curtain against Miami by any means, but they made them look great. Or they looked great for a little bit of that game. And now Troy Taylor is going to open the bag on them, whether he has Ashton Daniels or not. If anybody's watched Stanford over the course of this year, I certainly have for a couple of games, both in Syracuse and both in TCU. What they do with their playbook is disastrous for defenses at times, whether it's the trick plays, whether it's the QB run, QB power, which they can do, whether they have Ashton Daniels or Justin Lamson. I feel like that's going to be a big problem for VT because they cannot stop a mobile quarterback. You know that more than anybody. But I feel like this is the perfect time for Troy Taylor to get in his absolute bag. And not only that, but I think we talked about this just somewhat of a motivational angle. We got the massive game with game day happening across the bay, and Stanford's kind of feeling like the forgotten one and everything. I feel like this is where they show up, at least offensively, hoping they have their quarterback again. But I feel like this is where they bring out all the tricks, which will be a problem for VT early. And I think they eventually settle in and get some points and carry this in the second half themselves.
Yeah, I think the Hokies offense is going to show up against Stanford. I'm not scared of them. I think they show up once again after a 34 Berg against Miami on the road. Very impressive. Now, I do like this over. I want that on record first off. I like this play. No chance I'm taking the under. I honestly might even get to the counter here if you keep saying the right things like you are. But you might have said one thing a little bit incorrect or that I disagree with, and it's the VT's defense. You're talking about VT's defense. They have not looked good a single game so far this season. It's coming.
But they looked. I was saying they looked good. This is the only team that's forced Cam Ward into mistakes. I'm not saying they shut down the offense the entire time, but they were the only team so far that's been able to do that. So that's what I'm giving them credit for.
Yeah, that's true. Still gave up 38 points and blew the game. Their defense, they have NFL guys, half their fucking roster on that side of the ball, going to waste. Dude, we have an Alabama 4-star defensive tackle who's 5th on our depth chart, doesn't even get reps this season. We have the guys. They just haven't put it together. Whoever's fucking calling the plays, let's call Bud Foster back up. He could do this with his fucking eyes closed 10 times better. Because I don't know how we're playing this bad. We've got 2 NFL cornerbacks. We've got Peebles we just paid to come over from Duke, who's an NFL defensive tackle. We've got Antoine Powell-Ryland, who leads college football in sacks, and people are calling the next Khalil Mack. How is his defense not playing better? It doesn't make sense. They're going to have a good defensive game coming up here. It's not me. They literally called him that on the fucking broadcast during the Miami game.
He's a top 15.
They compared him to Khalil Mack. Not me.
Wow.
Not me. They did on the fucking broadcast. I swear to God. That's why he wears number 52 as well.
Wow.
Crazy. Leads college football in sacks.
That's insane.
The defense will show up at some point. Maybe it's against Musha at Stanford, but like you said, Jovan, I mean, if Daniels plays, he's going to rush all over the place. Remember how our guy Diego Pavia did week 1? Although that was a little bit while ago. We cannot slow down a running QB at all. That has been the main kryptonite, not only this year, but in years past. If he's playing, they're putting up points. This over's probably hitting. If he's not, I'd probably lean on VT to cover or maybe the VT team total over.
Well, their backup quarterback is also the same. Like he only runs. So that's why I'm kind of fine with it either way. I would love if it was Daniels because he's a little better as a passer, but their backup is Taysom Hill.
Yep. All right. W play. Hopefully Daniels plays, but like you said, if not, they got a backup who can run as well. W's. Rav?
They also got Megatron.
Yeah, they do have Megatron, yes. They
do
have Megatron. SMU Louisville over, huh?
I love this over. And it might be like a little I don't even know if it's square or not. Basically, SMU has been able to find their grooves with Kevin Jennings. You kind of could tell that there was some questions when they were running out Preston Stone and him in the first game against Nevada, and they almost lost. And then they lost to BYU. The offense didn't show up, and it looked like the season was already dead. Like they just looked like they were going to be bad. They've been able to bounce back the last few weeks. Kevin Jennings is finding his groove. Just put up a ton of points against Florida State. And now they have Louisville, who just gave up 34 to Riley Leonard at home. I'm sorry, on the road. Louisville in a bounce back spot after losing to Notre Dame. They're back at home. Shuck has been really good. I think he's actually been good enough to make himself a top 3 or 4 round pick in the draft coming up. I love the way Louisville's been passing. They put up 28 themselves against Notre Dame's good defense. So I'm gonna take this over, and I don't know. It could be square, it could be not, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I think Louisville's going to score plenty of points.
Yeah.
Jovan, you think SMU puts up enough?
Yeah. I don't think they'll have to put up too many. I think Louisville's putting up 45 in this game against SMU.
Yeah.
I feel like they get smacked.
Yep. Agreed. Like the play, Rav. Good luck here. Let's hope SMU does enough. Their offense can. Or get RJ Maryland up and moving. He could do stuff.
Throw that by the ball. Good things happen.
Sure. W follow, not Gavin 49. We appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the follow. We're also live on YouTube as well. If you want to subscribe, follow over there. Make sure you guys turn your notifs on So, when we release stuff like the coin toss, the app, or you want to go watch any new content up there on YouTube, turn those damn notice on. All right, get involved. Chiote, I'm with you in chat. I think Louisville scores a lot too, my man. I do. All right, why don't we move and groove onto some blowouts for this weekend? Favorites that we like. All right, and Jovan, I like that play as well. I actually had that down at first. Made a little bit of a pivot because I fell in love with another play, and I'll get it started out with the Washington Huskies here at home. Favorites against ranked Michigan. Look, I'm going to keep fading this Michigan team all season because I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're as good as their ranking, although they've, still taken care of business and gotten the wins when they need them, and they're still 4-1, which is way better than I expected at this point of the season. But really want to back Washington here after blowing that comeback, to Rutgers last weekend, where I really thought they were going to do it. Rutgers held on for that win. Washington blew it. I want to back them as favorites against the 10th ranked team in the country that, by the way, won the national championship last year. This is just a nasty crap spot here. Love the line. Love the Washington's a favorite. Don't even care that the line's moving from -2 to -1.5. That's because Michigan is getting absolutely pelted with bets and nobody wants to bet on the Huskies. I'll do it at home. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games. They get back right at home at Washington. Tough place to play. And I would love to fade Michigan on the roads and sell high with that program. They have a QB who can't even throw the ball.
Yeah. Can't hurt, Krabs. I think I talked about this on Coin Toss too. Like we had all of the unranked favorite situations or weird favorite situations, not just unranked. Last week, everybody got burned by. And this week, I'll go right back to it. So I'm not hating on you for that. I like that. I'll probably get involved.
Okay.
I did call
Rav?
this fake sharp on the coin toss.
Wow.
I did do that.
This is your fake sharp POD?
I don't know. I understand the reasoning, and Washington's so due for a win. Vegas has not been able to get a read on them. They're 0-5 against the spread, but that just means they're due. That's all that tells me.
You think they'll go 0-12 against the spread?
I do think that Michigan's run game is way better than Rutgers, and I do think that Michigan could give the Washington offensive line, who lost a lot, fits.
Michigan's run game is really good. Don't get me wrong, but Rutgers might have the best.
Monaghan's
Rutgers has
good.
like a top 10 O-line and Monaghan top 5 running back. I'd say it's pretty similar.
Michigan's could be even that much better. Mullins has looked really good. Their offensive line's so elite, but I do agree it's a little fishy.
I'll take it. I'll take this line. Favorite at home against a ranked squad every damn time that wins more than it loses. That's an L that you have that as your fake sharp POD. That sketches me out. All right, let's move. Let's groove. I want to hear about Georgia.
Yeah, I don't care how obvious it is. I'm taking them to beat Auburn by 1,000,000 points. Not only is it just the obvious narrative of they just lost to Alabama, but they also looked good in the second half of that game. So I feel like they're carrying some momentum. And Auburn's very obviously looked pretty shit throughout the whole season. They have the quarterback dilemma. Peyton Thorne's awful. Really, anybody you're going to put back there has been awful. They just choked the game to Oklahoma on that pick 6. But this is also the first time they're going on the road, which is absurd that this is happening in week 6. I think Michigan is also in the same scenario, but the first time going on the road when you've been dealing with all this quarterback situation, you're facing a Georgia team that's coming off a loss like that last week. And what everybody's probably going to consider and probably should be the game of the year. Yeah, I'll take Georgia to beat them by 50. I mean, this total has also moved up quite a bit. And we've talked about situations like this with very large favorites. I think Iowa State against like Arkansas State was like the first one that comes to mind. Total ain't going up because Auburn and Peyton Thorne are going to be scoring points. That's going to go up because Georgia's putting up 30 in the first half and going to cruise to a big win for the rest of the game.
Georgia bounced back after that failed comeback attempt last weekend against Bama. Has to be played. I'll be on the dogs as well. Sure.
Yeah, this is my whale on the coin toss.
Whale alert.
Yeah.
Whale alert. Penn State laying it.
No, I'm talking about Georgia.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good.
But I do like Penn State too.
Okay, good. Tell us about it.
One of the best things I like to do, especially in college football, I like to do in the NBA, basically any sport, is fade travel. And UCLA, after covering last week to Oregon somehow, I'm not going to get into that, but after covering last week to Oregon, has to travel all the way to State College to play a Penn State team that has been way better offensively. UCLA, we know, is just horrible. I'm going to fade the shit out of that travel. Penn State -28. That's basically all I put into it.
Dude, I love this play. Look, if there's one thing I've learned about Penn State, and although they haven't been the covering machine so far this season, it's that they are covering machines, and that is going to come back around. It always does. It's so fucking annoying. I've just learned really not to fade this team. Although I do want it on record, I took Bowling Green and faded Penn State this year, and that should count as 10 wins, fading Penn State and making coins. I love lighting this number. It's a fat number for a reason, and UCLA, although they haven't won their last couple games, the Indiana won 3 games ago. They got absolutely destroyed, but their last 2, they have covered against LSU and Oregon. They've played solid teams, but the public might think UCLA hanging around, covering back-to-back weeks against those solid squads, and even that LSU game on the road there. I could see it where nobody really wants to lay it with Penn State here in this ginormous number. Who wants to lay 4 touchdowns against UCLA? At the end of the day, you take bets like that, you're making coins.
Yeah,
Love this spot.
I loved it on Tuesday for when we produced the coin toss, and it's moved up a little more since then. I'm still gonna hammer it.
Keep moving. Keep grooving. Play. Jovan, thoughts on Washington? Thoughts on Penn State?
I like Washington. I like Penn State. I do not fade Penn State against shit teams. That's my number one rule, especially when they're in like the 20s range, because it's the teams that are like bottom of the barrel conference teams, but not yet like the Bowling Greens of the world. I think Bowling Green's a little better than what they've shown so far this year, but you get the point. Kind of the bottom of the barrel, like power conference teams. Those are the ones that Penn State just shows up for, especially at home, and beats the shit out of. So I'm 100% in, especially considering you might have a new quarterback in for UCLA going into State College, which is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, good luck.
Disaster, dude.
Good luck. All right, W favorites here. Chat, remember these puppies, but we will post this, tomorrow morning, so you'll have all of our plays on the Bookit BTL Twitter. Okay. Devil's Bang.
Wow.
Can't have those.
Shit. Good for Chelly, bad for Jovan. 2-0 in the first period still.
The over again.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. That's probably what it was. Trent, can you please chirp the Sabres? Next. Go ahead. We'll be waiting. All right, let's move and groove onto some upsets. Then we've got meat on tape and prize pick squares. Let's talk about some dogs we think are going to be barking this weekend. I'm going to go with UNC.
No.
Who's blown it 2 straight weeks in a row against Rav's Pitt Panthers. Yep, welcome to the fucking show, Rav. I'm taking your squats. I don't feel bad about it one bit. Give me UNC at home after 2 embarrassing L's to JMU, where they gave up 70 points. 70 piece. There's not even fries big enough to hold. So that's a lot of fucking points. And then they lose to Duke in a game where they were very sharp. They moved from +3 to +1, ended up at a pick'em. A lot of people lost coins back in Duke last week, or back in UNC against Duke last week. Those are ridiculous losses, and this team still has not covered a game this season. And you know who's been fucking Hercules of the ACC out of nowhere? The Pitt Panthers. Pitt has been overperformers. I don't understand it. I do like their QB. He's got some moxie. He reminds me of Kenny Pickett a little bit, but not today, or not on Saturday. They've covered and won all 4 of their games so far this season, but they're going to get absolutely blown out here. I will take the +2.5, my favorite line, my favorite bet in football to take, but that's literally just insurance there, to be honest with you. I do think UNC wins this game on the ML. I'm not even scared about Pitt catching steam up from a pick'em to -2.5. This is one of those games where I care more about the opener than when it's moving and grooving. And I love UNC and Mac Brown's boys to get back on track after 2 embarrassing losses at home. Embarrassing.
Yeah, I can't bet on that wretched team, man. Can't do it. If there's any week to do it, I mean, today or this week would probably be the time to do it, but I just can't. Man.
Sure.
I'll get to why I don't like it in the next segment, but
okay.
It could be a good look.
Little sneak peek. All right, let's hear about Hawaii.
Yeah, San Diego State is actual rat shit. And Hawaii, for what it's worth, has not looked great this season, minus like the UCLA game. I won't say they look great. It was more just a defensive slugfest that they, should have won outright. They came very close and lost by a field goal, but the defense has been fine for them. The issue with Hawaii for a while now has been when they travel off the island. That's been a real issue for them, because I think they've had only 1 road game so far, and that was when they got smacked by San Houston State, and 31-13 in that game. They're +4 in that game, so the offense didn't show up across the island. What I do love about this spot, though, San Diego State, their offense shouldn't really pose a challenge, and I kind of think that this game is going to have more points than it looks like on paper. They have real trouble moving the ball. They try to be physical and beat you just up the gut because they really don't have much through the air that they can do. I feel like that's a big time problem against Hawaii. It's the one part where their defense has actually looked solid this year. But on offense, I feel like this is where they finally get together and the run and shoot looks good because they've had a bye week to prepare and kind of rest up and get healthy. They've had some injuries, and Braden Shager's been a big part of that too. So now that they've had a week before they travel off the island, I feel like this is the perfect spot to get them, and I think they're certainly live in this game at also your favorite line, plus 2.5 Krabs.
Sure. Especially on the red. Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. All right. I could be convinced on the Rainbow Warriors. They took care of business in their last game. I believe they're coming off a bye as well, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare. I like it. Give me the plus 2.5.
Sure.
Ravington.
Yeah, I am not really fading your U of A total, but I do think it's going to be high scoring, and then I think it's going to be possible in that game. I love Baron Morton, and the U of A defense has just been horrible, horrible. I know they're coming off a good game last week against Zach Wilson's brother.
Mm-hmm.
The entire team, all of their fans think they're the shit now. If you guys can't tell, I fucking hate U of A. All their fans, their whole team thinks that they're the shit now because they beat Utah in Utah. They were without maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I'm going to fade that. I think the Texas Tech can make this a ball game, especially with a high total like that. I'm going to take the Red Raiders at plus 6.5, who have been playing very good ball, better than I thought that they were going to play before going into the season. I think this is a rough spot for U of A. I do think that they score, so I agree with your total, Krabs, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the Red Raiders make this one close at late night while everyone else is watching Cal Miami.
Yeah.
As you should.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's a lot of respect on Arizona on that number. Arizona has really not looked good so far this season. I feel like they had way higher expectations and not lived up to them really yet, although their record isn't as bad as it could be. They've only covered one game, and it was their last game when they won outright. They finally fucking covered and put it together. Texas Tech, on the other hand, I mean, I guess you can count that as a push against Cincy in that last game, -3. But they covered the 2 games before that as well. They've been playing pretty good. They've been putting up points. I don't know. I feel like that -6.5 is a big number for Arizona, but we'll see how it plays out. And like you said, I mean, I'm not fading it. I'm taking that team total. We can both win. Let's get some points.
I don't know. I just Utah they're really not good at all without Rising, like at all. And it's just I feel like the respect they're getting is just too much, almost.
Agreed. At least on the defensive side of the ball. But their offense really has not put it all together in a game so far this season. And against this Texas Tech defense, I do think they will late night on Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Jeez.
Yeah.
Late start. Love that. All right. Dubs, Jovan, Rav, any other comments before we move and groove onto our favorite plays of the weekend for college football?
Let's go to some meat.
I do
Talk
like
about the meat on tapes.
the Hawaii play,
Rav?
though, Jovan. Sorry.
Good.
Ooh,
Good.
WRAP.
I feel like everyone looks at San Diego State and it's like, oh, they're always a pretty solid team. Not this year at all.
Yeah,
Terrible.
For what it's worth, too, I think it's been a solid 5 years since Hawaii's beat them. Yeah, last time they beat them was in 2019.
I love that.
So it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Last year, I mean, usually there's a much bigger talent disparity than there is this year, but last year, I guess, is the closest it's ever been, and that was a crazy back and forth game that San Diego State won by a touchdown. So I feel like they finally get them this year.
Sure. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Meat on tape plays, the plays that the chat's been waiting for here for Saturdays, our favorite plays of the weekends in college. I'm going to go with App State. This one just simply means more for App State. I'll tell you what, this team is going to win this game outright, but I will take the +3 for insurance here. But Marshall, look, I think they're one of the worst teams in that conference. And even if they're at 2-2, they're coming off of what I believe was a really nice win in that last game, against Western Michigan. And they've covered their last 4 games here in a row. They've covered every game this season so far. Crazy. That's not going to continue. And I'll back App State, who the community around there just got destroyed by the whole hurricane. This one is going to be played for not only their team themselves, but for their city, their school, their program. And I love backing a good motivational angle here. People are talking about, oh, where's App State going to, practice? Are they locked in? This is the exact time I want to back App State, who has not put it all together yet so far this season. They're coming off a canceled game. App State on the road here, this one just means more. And I like App State's offense a lot better than I do Marshall's. I was high on App State preseason. They have not put it together. They have not looked good this season yet. But with this extra added motivation, I think Aguilar and the rest of that offense that we know is better than they've showed shows up on the road here against an overrated Marshall squad. Give me App State. I'll take the 3, but they win this game outright.
There you go. Big narrative. And I think we talked about this too. I love that they have I don't love the canceled game, obviously, because of the situation, but they've been sitting there seething over that ridiculous performance on national television that got everybody hyped for that game against South Alabama, and they just got fucking wailed.
Yep.
So I love that they've been
waiting
thinking
a
about that
while.
for a while.
They've been waiting a while. They've been dealing with a lot of adversity. That's the exact team I want to take when nobody else wants to. All right?
Here we go.
Dubs. Jovan, I've been waiting for this shit for months.
You and me both,
What do you
brother.
got?
You and me both. You people know why I'm taking this. I think it's an awful spot for Miami. We mapped this out before the season, and this is also the first game that Miami is really going on the road, and I think they're going to get tested by a really good defense. I gassed up VT's defense because they're the only team that was able to force Cam Ward into mistakes. Granted, like Miami hasn't played a team that you're going to see playing a bowl game until just now. Against VT, potentially. I don't even want to give that as a certainty, Krabs. Sorry, but I think it is. But this is the first time he's facing a really good pass defense. Not only a really good pass defense, but a defense that, A, is underrated, but also has seen him at Washington State. So it's not like they're new to this whole Cam Ward shit because they saw him multiple times at Washington State. They're very familiar with him. But this Cal team is good. They're better than people think for the same reason that I very reluctantly had to take them or fade them when they went to FSU. They went to Auburn. They went back home to San Diego State or to play San Diego State, and they went back across the country and played FSU. This is Cal going across the country to play, or Miami going across the country to play Cal with game day there, the biggest game they've had there really ever. I mean, it's crazy that I mapped that out too. I'm super hyped for that. But while Cal was sitting at home getting healthy with all the injuries they have, on a bye week, seeing how Virginia Tech was finally able to move the ball or show somebody that they can move the ball pretty consistently on Cam Ward and that team and force mistakes out of him too. So this is the spot of all spots. I'm not backing down from it. Cal's winning this game outright. Meat on tape. Love the points, obviously, but this is an upset brewing.
Rav, thoughts? Fading your wagon? You're muted again. Sure. That's all right. We'll fix it. Jovan, I will be on Cal with you. I don't love that the number's at 10.5, and that's where it's standing. But I mean, it was at 13.5, 14 before, so it's not like that's where it opened, right? You just know I hate that number, but that's not even where it opened at. That's just where it's settled. I'll be on Cal. I've seen a lot of Cal love. Haven't seen a lot of Miami love, I will say. But Jovan, look, I could tell when you're confident in a read, and I will be joining you, to scale. However many units you have on this, we could talk offline, but let me know, and I am tailing accordingly. I believe in the Cal Bears. I believe in you in this read, and I want to fade the fuck out of Miami. Those frauds that stole a win from us, ripped our heart out last week. They don't deserve it. The college football gods, they're going to get them back, and it's probably going to happen quicker than we think. Let's go Cal Bears. Let's go Marshawn Lynch back for game day. That could be the difference.
People sleep on that. Marshawn there for game day is going to be actually electric. I still can't believe they have game day there. That's insane.
I still cannot believe you said 6 months ago that this was going to be game day, and now it is.
Yeah, people looked at me like I had two fucking heads.
We got an echo. That's okay.
Can't
Make it up. Of course, it gets game day, like you called it, Jovan, as our guy Nick is going to the Mizzou game to go see his alumni. Can't make it up because he thought that game should be game day as well.
Yeah. Well, they already went to Texas A&M, so they've had their time.
Okay. All right. W's. Love Cal. Love App State. Would love to see if we can hear Rav for Pitt on the ML. Ravington. And GG's.
Andrew. Oh, no, there he goes. He's alive. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, he can't hear shit.
He might be kicked.
All right. Rav tens.
There we go.
There he is.
Yes.
There he is. W Goots, W Rav. Rav, tell us about Pitt and why this moose shit play is hitting.
Well, first of all, I'm so scared for Miami because Jovan has literally prophesized this.
Yeah.
But anyways, Pitt. This was not even on my radar before Tuesday. Okay, I saw that they were 2.5 point favorites going into UNC, and I thought this was a pretty fair line. It was actually to the point where Lauren and Mike thought that this was going to be my whale. And I was like, why? Why do you think it's going to be my whale? And I could see why they think I'd like it. And now I really do like it. And if it wasn't for, I do like Georgia, but this is definitely my second favorite play now. I just feel like that this team has shown offensively that it can go through anyone. UNC's defense has always been bad this year. It's just exceptionally bad. They tried making a good new DC hire with Jeff Collins, and it has been kind of a crapshoot. I think the whole team will be able to
fucking
dice.
terrible.
Yeah, I
Their
think
defense has
the
been
whole
terrible.
team is going to be able to dice the defense. I am worried about the Pitt run defense, which is usually a pro for them. Their D line is always usually a pro for them. Narduzzi is a kind of a D line guru. They lost two of their starters to Colorado, and they have not been able to stop the run as well. They gave a ton of runs up to Donaldson from West Virginia. So that's the only kind of part of this play that scares me for Pitt. But other than that, I feel like that they have the advantage in all of the facets of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and take Pitt, but the line honestly does scare me now.
Yeah, and again, like you guys moved to favorites, and Pitt is good. They're 4-0. They've taken care of business. They've been probably the most pleasant surprise in the ACC, but Vegas is still hip. They know that Pitt is not the best team in the ACC, right? They're still not getting mad respect. The -2.5 now, I feel like, is kind of fair, but that opener at a pick'em in this game, I thought was the weirdest part of the whole thing. Giving some serious respect to UNC. Obviously, Pitt getting a ton of money coming in, and now they're up to -2.5. But I'm seeing some squares up, like Eli Holstein, your guy, the new QB who's just been killing it so far this year. He's up for an interception square. He's also up for a really high passing yards, almost 300 yards. And I feel like if they were going to win this game, it probably wouldn't be that high. There's a couple things on here that scare me for Pitt, but UNC's defense might just be that bad. We're going to find out this weekend at home. We're going to find out.
And then I mean, I just don't even. They don't have a throwing game at all. UNC. I mean, they can only run the rock. So the over was really high too. I thought that it was honestly a little too high with UNC not being able to throw the rock at all. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Some
Marion
potential-
Hampton might win this game himself.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Hampton's probably gonna get clamped.
If they
think
blow
so?
the box up.
I think so. I think they're gonna make him throw. That's the only reason. Like I saw the sharp spot or what seemed sharp with UNC, and I couldn't do it. So they're rat. But I will be getting invested in Pitt if they win this week, and if a certain something on the West Coast also happens that I'm hoping happens, because Cal's got to go all the way east next week.
Right.
Fade the travel.
Yeah.
All right. We got Florida 225 coming in, bringing a party of 22 with the raid W's.
Florida.
Love that. Love that. Took it with Brent coming in, resubbing. Budman coming in, resubbing. W, gents. Let's fucking go. All right, what else you guys got?
I wanted to add that Pitt gets basically their best running back from the last 2 to 3 years back this weekend, Ronnie Hammond. He was suspended at the beginning of the year for some sort of undisclosed issue. There was like rumors there was gambling issues actually. He's back, and him and Desmond Reed as a 1-2 punch might be one of the best combos in the ACC.
Okay. All right. Well, then they
So
probably
we'll
should
see
be
how that
laying more
goes.
than 2.5 against no shit UNC. But we'll see. All right.
I know it's
Somebody's winning there, Rav. Somebody's winning. We'll see how much you know about your Pitt Panthers. All right. Dubs, let's power through these prize pick squares. We'll be extra quick here, tempo and pace, but I want to let the people know what we like on the gridiron on Saturday before we get Trent on here for NFL. And W Rav, you're killing it on your first time here. Let's keep powering through. I'll go over my 2 squares here real quick. I'm going to fade one of the most overrated QBs in college football, in my opinion, and fades my guy Malik Murphy here and take his less than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Duke against Georgia Tech in a game script where I almost put Georgia Tech in as my favorite during the college football weekend preview. I think they win this game by a bazillion, and the total's not moving at all, but they're moving, 4 or 5 points on the spread up to almost -10, which is crazy against undefeated Duke. I fucking bet. I think Georgia Tech comes out and plays great on both sides of the ball here. Not seeing that total move up along with Georgia Tech, I think is a great sign for the under in the game in general. And if I think Georgia Tech wins big, I got to fade Duke's offense. And Malik Murphy is not good at quarterback. He's had some solid games, though, this season so far where they put on some points. But I want to fade that Duke offense. Love their team total under, and I really like Malik Murphy less than 1.5 passing tutties on Prize Picks. Really like
And on
it.
that.
Really like
Yeah,
it.
love that.
Rav, you probably won't like this one, but Noah Fafita, more than 276.5 passing yards. Again, I'm on Arizona's team total over in that late night game. I'm seeing points and seeing plenty of them. And I think Fafita has his best game of the season in what could be a shootout. It could be close. Hopefully, for Rav's sake, it is. We get a cover there, and Arizona's team total smacks as well. But I think Arizona's offense looks the best it has this season. Tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern, and I want to back Noah Fafita in his passing yards. It looks a little bit higher than what he's been doing recently, but him and McMillan are going to be an absolute dynamic duo that's going to be unstoppable against Texas Tech, along with the rest of that offense. I'll back Arizona's offense, take that team total over, and back Fafita on his passing yards.
Yeah, I mean, total that high, you got to take the quarterback passing.
Has to be done. Has to be done. Let's move. Let's groove. Jovan? Ooh.
Jaden Knott's getting in the end zone this week. It's not actually crazy this is a regular square because, I mean, the last couple weeks, really since the UC Davis game where he got hurt the first game of the season, where he actually scored twice before that happened, they've been limiting his snaps. He hasn't been fully healthy, so they've been kind of saving him up until the FSU game, part of it. They said he still wasn't like fully healthy in that game, but he was as close as he's been in the last couple weeks. Now he's talked about that he's very ready to go. So this is their chance in this big game. The fact that this is a normal square, again, after he hasn't scored since the opening game because he hasn't gotten the steps necessary, I think tells you all you need to know. Big players got to show up in these big-time games. I think Cal wins this game outright. They ain't going to do it with the wide receivers, even though they are getting some guys back, so they're much healthier in that area. You're going to need a big game from Jaden Knott, so I think you get it. Then another guy that you're going to get a big game out of, Ollie Gordon, Rav's guy, who's been ratchet this season. He ain't going to be ratchet against West Virginia, which I don't know. Like Mike Gundy is an idiot because he had 75 rushing yards, I think, in the first quarter and ended with like 76 because they wouldn't give him the ball, which it wasn't just a game script thing because, yes, they were down, but not at the point early in the second quarter where they stopped giving him the ball. This is where you go to your guy, especially against a very vulnerable West Virginia run defense. So I feel like Ollie Gordon is going to look like the Ollie Gordon of last year in this game. So it's the perfect game for that to happen, even though I do think West Virginia is very liable to win this game. I think they'll be live, but I think this is where you go to your goats, especially after Alan Bowman looked like Mike Glennon last week against Kansas State of all teams. So give me Ollie Gordon to have a big game for once.
I could not agree more with Ollie Gordon.
Breaking news. Devontae Adams just posted a picture of Edgar Allan Poe in a story, which is what the Ravens are named after. So just letting you know.
Goots,
bro.
What the fuck?
Dude, I'm done, Goots. I'm done with you. I'm done with Goots, bro. Let's go to Rav's PP Squares,
just
man.
Posting that just because he wants to?
Go to Rav's PP Squares, Goots.
W. Rito for pointing that out.
Fuck's sake, man.
That was one of the worst fake bangs ever. I thought it was going to be like something serious.
I thought it was him actually getting traded. It's unbelievable, man.
Jovan, you liked Ollie Gordon. I like Ollie Gordon as well. They finally started to let him run last week. West Virginia's defense, like you said, is very bad, especially susceptible to run. I think that I'm going to take Oklahoma State after losing 2 in a row here at home now. They're going to give the rock to him. I don't think they're going to trust Bowman anymore, even though he just eclipsed 10,000 yards, which is, you think at first is insane, but when you think he's also been in college for 7 years, doable.
Yeah.
It's going to be the All Gordon show. I cannot wait to take that more than. And I cannot wait to pair it with my ASU Sun Devil running back, Cam Scotabo. Kansas's defense has just been horrible. ASU is catching 2.5 at home here. I do think that they are going to be able to run and throw on this defense, but I think that they're going to try to keep the offense moving through the run game. After a really big game, I think 4 weeks ago, he's been very quiet and it's gone under this number the last 2 games. So I think he bounces back. They keep the offense going through him, and Scotto gets 81.
It could be air. I'm not too
Did
tapped
he
into
taken
the
off of Prize Picks?
Did he?
Scotabo.
Is he off of Prize Picks?
I saw him like.
No, he's there, Krabs. He's there.
He's up there.
Yeah, I'm not too tapped into the Kansas injury report, but I can tell you from watching Kansas TCU last week, like their entire D line got hurt at some point in that game. So
Yeah.
If that's, I don't know, carrying into this week, that could be great for Scatterbo.
I thought it was more than just their D line too. A lot of their defense.
Well, yeah, I mean it was a lot of a lot of players on both sides of the ball, but I remember half the D line was out every fucking drive because they were going down.
Love Ollie though.
I might be on Kansas in this game, but I do like that square, and he is your goat on offense, so I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right. W Prize Pick Squares, W College Football Weekend Preview. Let's fucking go, Chad. Let's go, Rav. W debut, W first timer. We love it.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, now let's get Trent on here for NFL. Rav, great work. Go ahead and make the switch. Chat, we'll hop over to the NFL Weekend Preview here in a second. Rav, we appreciate you, my man. Good luck this weekend.
You guys too.
We'll bait. All right, Gootsy, why don't you take us to that NFL preview? All right, chat. We've got some great NFL games this weekend. Excited to go over these puppies with Jovan and Trent. We'll get him on here in a moment. Why don't we go ahead and pivot, switch the mindset over to the professionals, Jovan. And I can get this puppy started off with a little Vikings team total over in the early game.
Under.
Where is this game being played at again? Are they playing it in Tottenham, I believe?
Yeah. Or
as we get Trent in this puppy?
Somewhere over there.
I think it is.
No clue.
W Trent making his appearance. Love to see it. Chat, we got the GOAT in the house, who's low-key been doing pretty well on the weekend previews for NFL. He has.
Full faded last week.
Oh, yeah, up until then. Yes. You did go 0 for 5 or 0 for 7 last one. 0 for 6.
Should have been a win. Good.
6-1.
It's whatever.
Yes. The first 2 weeks, though, were really good. So let's bring those vibes back, and let's hit some bets for this weekend, Trent. I'm very excited to hear your plays. I'll get this puppy started out, though, with a nasty under in this 9:30 a.m. Eastern start, Jets and Vikings. Sam Darnold revenge game, right? People are talking about it. Sam Darnold against his former team. Jets defense doesn't look as elite as people expected. Well, I think they will in this very, very far away game in England's early start on Sunday morning. I think the Vikings offense for the first time this season looks like shit. And I'm fading them, and I'm taking their team total under. I like the Jets in this game. I like them on the +2.5. You guys know how I feel about that number. And I think the Jets defense looks the best it has this season in this game against their former QB. Sam Darnold will be seeing ghost once again. I'll take his team total under 20.5, and I'll be fading Sam Darnold again here in a little bit. We'll talk about it on Prize Picks.
That's a football brain play.
Yeah, dude. I'll back the Jets defense. It has not played great so far this season, but I know they have it in them. I want to back Salah's defense and the Jets defense and the Vikings offense. Look, I love their coach. I think he's an absolute stud. The former Kevin O'Connell, former QB's coach in DC, but their offense isn't putting up this many points every week. And Sam Darnold, this is a big spot when the lights are bright. I think this is when he collapses.
I like the play.
W's.
Jamal.
Jovan, little under in Carolina and Chicago.
Yeah, give me a little Bears Panthers under for a couple of different reasons. Because the Bears I feel like are going to be okay in this game moving the ball. It's not going to be as painful watching Caleb Williams in that offense. Because the Panthers defensive line is so banged up to the point right now where they're not going to put all that much pressure on that Bears offensive line that's been actually ratchet. But you run the ball on the Panthers. That's how you beat them. It's like the game became a lot easier for the Bengals when they realized that last week. And if you played the Panthers at all this year, it's been the same story. So I feel like to get Caleb kind of ease into the game, I feel like he's not going to be asked to do all that much in this game. I think it's going to be a lot of Roschon and DeAndre Swift, and that'll work. But what that also does is chew the clock. And on the other side, too, I feel like that's going to have to be the game plan on what I think is supposed to be a pretty windy day in Chicago, too, which is why the total is moving down the way it is. It's going to be the same story for the Panthers. I feel like they're going to have to move the ball through Chuba Hubbard and in the short game. The long concepts that the Panthers have used with Andy Dalton so far, these first 2 games, I don't think they're going to be nearly as effective against this Bears defense. So I feel like it's going to be kind of tough sledding for them. Maybe another game that's filled with a lot of field goals early. I mean, with the wind possibly being a factor, that's not a given either. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of ground game in this game. And I like this under, even though I think the Panthers might be kind of live to make this one close. I don't think they're going to do it with points.
Okay. Nasty under, low total in Chicago, Carolinas. I'm down to fade Andy Dalton in that offense. I'm in.
Could be surgical.
We can fade Caleb after the first time they've looked, pretty good so far
Yeah.
this season. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Splits look good as well. Trent, Raiders and Broncos under 37.5. What do you like about that?
I mean, I look for unders that just scream under, and this total has already dropped 2 points since I fucking gave it to you an hour ago. It's at 35.5 now. But I
That's
was
crazy.
shocked to see is that like that's got to be one of the lowest totals of the year, no?
That might be the lowest
Yeah,
total of the year.
probably.
I don't know. I'm tripping. Maybe we had a 32.5, or that
No,
might
I don't
be.
think we had 32.5.
Yeah. But I mean, how the fuck does this not go under? You have two pretty solid defenses against two moose shit offenses. I just think that this is going to be similar to how the Jets Broncos game went last week. Don't see much different. I know the weather was playing a factor. I don't really know what the weather is in Denver this week, but I mean, how does this shit not go under? This is a moose shit Booper Bowl here. Moose shit Booper Bowl.
I'm with you. It might make a little too much sense for me to take, but I like your angle there. And obviously, it looks like a good looking under here. And I like the Broncos defense, what we're seeing out of them right now. Back to back great performances from that defense. Sean Payton, life on the line, legacy on the line. Broncos are waking up. They're getting mobile. They're getting up and moving. And their offense is nothing to write home about either. So I like it. I like it.
If we can get out of the first quarter with under 2 touchdowns, I don't see how it goes over.
Yep.
I feel like your
Let the game
biggest
settle
threat is a defensive touchdown, which I think can happen.
True.
from either one of these QBs making a mistake.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if the lowest total of the week has gone over once. I can't confidently say that's been the case.
I
But
think I know why it dropped
why?
because of my league.
He's already not playing though.
Yeah, but still, who cares? My league.
What is
No.
your
No. fucking
Devontae
league.
posted a picture of Edgar Allan Poe on a story, which is what the Ravens are named after.
He's not even supposed to play anyway, dude. They know that.
Who cares?
He's
I mean,
putting his
that's
Brandon Ayuk hat on.
It was me.
Goots. It means something, Goots, but it doesn't mean a lot.
dude? That means a lot.
Why does it not mean? How would it
doesn't.
not mean a lot?
Who the
Because
fuck
we
just puts
just
Edgar Allan Poe on the fucking feed like that?
Exactly.
You don't do
Well-
that unless you're going to the Ravens.
Brandon Ayuk was posting literal film from practice of the Commanders in the offseason, and he didn't have anything.
Yeah, but he's a
Yeah,
nut
So
job.
that didn't matter. Devontae Adams might be a nut job too, it sounds like, man.
I don't know. I
He
think he's
might be
pretty
he's
chill.
posting Edgar Allan Poe on his story.
I don't know. I think he wants
What's he
some
doing?
crab cakes, Krabs.
You might want some crab cakes.
Devils.
You
Yes.
might want some crab cakes. 3 out. We got points. Good.
Let's go.
All right. Well, yeah, we could chalk the Sabres, I guess, Jovan, and move on and root for that over.
Dead.
Yeah.
Jelly there. That might be
Dead.
kick. That might be kick. All right. Dubs, let's move. Let's groove. Like these unders. I'm excited to talk about some overs, though, with you, gents. Let's move to them. Let's talk about some points. I've been talking about this over all week. I think I mentioned it a couple times on BTL this week. Give me points. Give me the over. I cannot wait to hear why Trent's bitching about this one. Give me the over in what I think is going to be a very close, high-scoring game. And if you check out some of Kyler Murray and Arizona's prize pick squares, you might start agreeing with me. Arizona moving from plus 9.5 to plus 7.5, already a great sign. I don't want to play that side. I hate that number as well. And it's not like the 49ers have looked great so far this season. They've had a ton of injuries, but they're 2-2. Who the heck wants to back them right now anyways? And they've still got some injuries. They are coming off a win in that last game. They still have not looked that sharp or that great overall this season. Sure, they blew out New England first time this season. They've really looked good. Arizona, they've got a weird trend going on right now where they've scored on the first drive of every game of their season a touchdown in all 4 of their first games, but then they really don't score much the rest of the game. It's super weird. I think we see that flip, and I think that gets addressed. And I think we see Arizona and Kyler Murray play their best ball of the season offensively and show up for the full 4 quarters for the first time this season. And Arizona might win this game outright. I like their sides, but I love points in this total moving up from 47 to 50. The splits look extremely sharp. Big old bets being dropped on that over. And I think Arizona and Kyler Murray carry this total over themselves, to be completely frank with you.
Echoes.
We got him. Goots will fix him.
Check.
Yeah.
Goots will fix him.
There we go.
There we go.
Points. Trent, why were you bitching?
I thought there would be zero chance Jovan would take this over. It is the easiest over on the slate. And we know those don't hit. So I'd love to hear why he likes this over.
I don't know that it's the easiest over on the board.
What do you mean?
I mean, what?
One of them. It's one of them.
Yeah, it's one
This
of
is a
them.
Mikey. This is a Mikey over.
I feel like there's two. There's two that look easier than this. I would say it's the Niners game and the Packers game. I would say look easier than this. But
Who wants to back both those offenses, though, in Arizona San Fran?
I think a lot of people Krabs. It's the Cardinals and the Niners.
I don't know, man. Their offenses look like rat meat.
I mean, the best option I would say the best option for the Bills is not even playing this game. Shakir's not playing. That's Josh Allen's number one target this season. So, I mean, he's not even playing. Joe Mixon's still out. So you're going to have Cam Akers starting for the Texans. And that's the obvious option, I guess, because the Bills just got pounded by Derrick Henry and you don't even have a starting running back for the Texans. But I think it's a plus matchup there. I think things are going to be pretty simple for CJ Stroud. Both teams are dealing with a pretty good injury designation list, and the Bills especially, not only with Shakir, but a lot of linebackers on that defense, which is pretty important for stopping the run and or stopping CJ Stroud over the middle of the field, which I really don't think is going to happen. But on the other side, I feel like this is where we get a Josh Allen game. This is where he picks it up when he knows he's missing his number one target. He's going to have to go to Kincaid a lot. He's going to have to probably use Curtis Samuel a good bit. I think James Cook is going to have a pretty decent game, both on the ground and in the receiving game. So I think we get points. I think this is a back and forth game where even when a lot of people are going to be doubting the Bills because of the injury list they have, they come out and they score points against the Texans. And Texans karma, maybe after winning a game they had absolutely no business winning last week. Now they get the injury riddled Bills off of getting the shit kicked out of them. I think the Bills go in and score some points on the road. So I think that's what carries the total.
Wow. No Shakir.
Yeah.
For sure, interception coming.
He's up again. They have that square up again.
No way it's up again.
It's up again.
It's always
and
up,
it's
dude.
red as ma. I
Yeah,
feel like
they
at this point, the fact that it's just Josh Allen and everybody knows how he plays and they know he's an interception king, honestly just cancels out the fact that it's red as ma at this point. Like, I don't even want to get cute and take the more than anymore. I'm just going to root for that season long and him not to
Yeah, no, I will never click that button the rest of the year.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Auto tail redemption rumors.
What's the auto tail?
Ooh, auto tail from the name's Jeffrey just got redeemed. Love to see that. All right, let's see if we can find out in chat what he wants Trent to tail. All right, my name's Jeffrey. Auto tail. Let us know.
I think it might be Tennessee.
All right, I'm sure he'll let us know in chat here in a moment. Well, the most bet over by bet percentage is this over in Buffalo and Houston. Just FYI.
Shocker.
A lot of bets coming in on it. We'll see how it plays out. I actually kind of like Houston in this spot. Now, Shakir injury kind of changes things there a little bit too. Not going to bet this game. A little confusing, and I kind of want to fade both of these squads, but I do think Houston squeaks out a win here. Not in love with the over, but we'll see how it plays out. Both you gentlemen on it. Wishing you the best of luck on that puppy. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's get these Mikey Overs out of here, and let's get involved in some blowouts, some favorites, teams we think are winning and winning big. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Gentlemen.
What are we doing, man?
Gentlemen. I mean, Jovan, I'll tell you what, this was how I was last weekend when me and Trent had like 3 of the same plays or squares, and I'll tell you what, all 3 of them fucking lost. Terrible vibes.
Wait till you see the next one.
No, there's more.
There's more?
Hey, no way Goots is saying, but wait, there's more.
How's there more, dude?
Jesus. All right. Well, you know what? I'll get my Seahawks pitch over with here. This is probably my least favorite play that's up there on the NFL Weekend Preview anyways. I kind of struggled to take a favorite here. And I also like the Jags, by the way. And we're going to talk about that in a moment too. But I think Seattle wins this game, and I think they win big. I don't know anybody who really is in a rush to back Seattle after getting embarrassed in that last primetime game the other night. But I think returning back home, that could be huge. And I think their defense locks back in under McDonald's. And the Giants, I mean, look, they covered that game by a miracle against Dallas. I'm sorry to even bring it up, guys. I know that one still stings, but they've covered their last 2 games in a row, including that one. They even won that game outright on the road at Cleveland. So the Giants are starting to play a little bit better. And I do think the Giants are a better team than the public really, thought they were. But I still want to fade after 2 back-to-back solid performances from the G-men. Fade Daniel Jones. I think he's going to throw an interception in this game. And Seattle's defense gets moving and grooving here with that total down from 43.5 to 42.5. Loving Seattle to absolutely roll, and I'm banking on their defense to show up and keep Daniel Jones off the scoreboard.
Sure.
So third 6-piece potential, no DK.
I think that's a really good parlay piece this weekend. Yes. Really
Okay.
good surge 6
There's
piece.
not too many. There's not too many of them to work with.
No, and we'll be happy to talk through some of that as well once we get through this. 100%. If you want to, pick our brains. You already have that shit set or no?
Nope.
Doesn't sound like it. Okay. All right. We could talk about that here as well at the end and loop around. Jovan, would love to hear your pitch on the Jags. I will be on them as well, along with Trent, as you guys can see up here. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I like the Jags, and unlike the dude who's always in chat scripting every single play, no, you're not just blindly taking the Jags until we win a game. Same dude that said he was maxing Houston last week when the Jags covered and we cashed on that is saying the same shit this week, but no, they're favored and they're winning a game. It looks like Joe Flacco is going to be the starter for the Jags, which I would love to see AR in there because the Jags play a lot of man coverage. AR tries to be a superhero against man coverage, but the difference is this Colts defense that, again, same story. We're getting chirped for backing them against the Steelers last week, the undefeated Steelers that couldn't lose a game. They're still down a lot of guys, and this matchup kind of works out a lot better for Trevor Lawrence in that offense than it does for Justin Fields in that offense, which is why I backed them then and why I'm going to fade them now. So now they're going on the road still with this laundry list of injuries. This is a beautiful matchup for a lot of those wide receivers. Those wide receivers are going to carve them. The running game is a little easier for them to get going too, which is key to unlocking everything that Trevor Lawrence does. He's looked really bad to start the season, but you couldn't get a better matchup than this in a game that you would expect points. Now they're back at home against that defense that's really not going to throw too much at them. This is where they get their win. So, yes, I don't really care that it's a Trent collab. They're not losing.
Yeah, they win this game, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trent, you've seen enough football games to know when a line is just screaming at you. Super weird. The Jags up to -3 now, gentlemen. They were 2.5 only about an hour or so ago. Great sign as well. Keep on moving and grooving. We'd love to see them get up to 3.5, 4, shit, even 5. And fading the Colts. Great move.
Someone said DK was out in chat. I just fucking read it out loud. I don't know if he's actually fucking playing or not. Relax.
I'm sure somebody will let us know if they haven't already.
Yeah.
Love the Jags this week. Love the Jags this week. This is the right play. This is the right sides. And this should be a surge 6 play for you as well, Trent.
Might be squeaking in there.
It might just have to. Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is 0-8 in their last 8 games, I believe, in the Jags. Absolute joke. No way they win this game.
They're flipping scripts from what they usually do. They're starting off shit instead of finishing shit.
Yep.
I absolutely love the chat Kilkenny just dropped.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that.
We'll
talk about that in a second. W. Kenny.
Wow.
No
and
way
I just
you have
traded
Eric
Eric
Hall,
All
bro.
Jr. I just traded him in my Dynasty League.
I'm starting him this week. I'm starting him in this week, but I was more so talking about the other shit.
Dude, Amari Cooper, I was going to make that one of my props too. But I'm like, dude, Javon's going to chirp me for just taking fucking wide receivers against the commies every fucking week.
No, take Amari Cooper. But I wasn't even talking about Amari Cooper as part of that. But yes, he's going to absolutely grub this week. We'll talk about that game in a second.
All right.
We'll get there.
Okay. Did we ever get the audit tail from Jeffrey in chat?
I think it was
Tennessee worked. Okay. Let's move. Let's groove, chats. Again, remember these plays, but we will post these, Sunday morning early, so you guys have them on the Bookit BTL Twitter. Okay, so stay tapped, drop a like, and let's keep moving and grooving here. Let's go to our upset.
Plays incoming.
Yep. Let's go to our upset alerts. Sure, we got a little Bengals sandwich here. Sorry, Goots. Not personal, just business. But there's no worlds where I'm not playing +2.5 with the Bengals, who've looked like rat meat this whole season, against the Ravens, coming off of 2 monumental wins. 2 massive wins where the Ravens showed up and actually came through. We'd love to see it. W. Goots, and I still believe in the Ravens. They're a good squad. They've proven that now after those 2 games. But this is the perfect spot to fade and back the Bengals, who finally showed some signs of life on the road against Carolina last week in that game. I want to back Joe Burrow, and I want to back the Bengals, who might not have beaten the Ravens last 2 times they played. But before that, the Bengals did kind of have the Ravens number. And I think we return to that with Joe Burrow healthy now and Jamar Chase probably having a field day in this contest. And let's not all act like that spread is not pretty telling here, in my opinion. I feel like everybody on earth is going to want to take the Ravens. They're already one of the most popular plays of the weekend. And I hate laying -2.5. They're cake. I'll take my chances with Joe Burrow and the shitty Bengals here at home. That totals up to 49. That's probably a good thing for the Bengals here because if this game goes under, they're probably not winning.
I fucking love it, Krabs.
Bengals, one of those plays that just nobody wants to take, but it has to be done. Has to be done.
Has to be done. Book it
You
with
wanna-
Trent. Guarantee they win outright.
God fucking damn it, dude.
The way we're dropping Bookit with
Why
Trent
are we
guarantees.
dropping? What
dude.
is this new thing?
Let's
Book with Trent
fucking
guarantee?
go.
Also, book it with Trent guarantee. Rams win outright.
Okay.
Why?
thank you.
Like,
At
why
least
did you
get some
feel the
insight.
need to drop that? It's not even on your side, man.
Because on my morning yap weekend report, my 2 whales on NFL, Rams and Bengals.
Literally, Batman.
Oh God.
My two whales for Saturday, Washington and A&M.
Literally bad.
Trent's putting his sharp cap on this weekend.
Yeah.
Those are 4 winners. That 4-legger is gonna smack
Putting
like
his little
crack
sharp
too.
cap on.
I might tail that. I'm not gonna lie.
Washington, A&M, Rams, Bengals.
Astros.
I might tap on that 4-piece.
Dodgers.
There we go. It had to come at some point.
Dodgers to win the World Series. Put it in there, too.
Unbelievable.
All right. Well, shit. We got Trent. We got Book with Trent guarantees, whatever the hell that means, but it can't be good on all these plays up on the board. So, Chad, I guess act accordingly. Moose. But would love to hear, Trent, if you have any other thoughts on the Bengals, and then we'll get to that Rams sell job.
Yeah, it's a weird line. Everyone's gonna be anxious to be nuking the Ravens, who are starting to look like the team we thought they were.
Yep.
This is the game that evens out that division. And we're going to look back at this game as a crucial one once we get towards the end of the season. But this is the game where the Bengals click, figure it out, and get themselves back into the hunt.
Trent, do you want to make a bet?
Sure, Goots.
I don't even know what we'd do. I was thinking maybe you had an idea.
$100.
That doesn't even tickle Trent's chin.
I know. What do you want it to be? $1,000, Goots?
No. It needs to be something. All right, if I lose, I'll wear this fucking moose shit Orioles bucket hat.
Yes, I know that hat. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
You have to wear that for a week on stream.
A week?
All right, and what happens if you win or I win? You have to spin the wheel?
I mean, if that's what you want, I guess.
Wow. Goots' biggest fear. The wheel keeps Goots up at night as well. That could be a perfect W punishment. Good work, Trent. Okay.
Right.
There we go.
All right, we
It's
got
a
a
deal.
deal, gentlemen? Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so if the Bengals win this game, that means Gootsy has to spin the wheel, his biggest fear. If the Bengals take care of business, we got to get Trent to wear the fucking, or if the Bengals blow it and the Ravens take care of business, Trent has to wear that stupid hat for a week on stream. Deal? Good.
There we go.
All right. Jovan, Rams. Tell me why you want to back Matt Stafford, and could this have anything to do with why you love that wide receiver on the Rams? Whittington.
Maybe a little bit. I love that he got more involved last week because the Rams stopped acting like they were fucking playing Big Ten football with 3 tight ends in the game at every time. So, shocker, once Whittington was in the slot a lot more and not sitting on the sideline while tight ends blocked, he got passes. He's playing the Cooper Kupp role, just like I said. He's in those exact same sets and the exact same personnel situation. So, I wasn't completely wrong there, I will say. I was just a game early. I think we're going to get more of that this game. Plus, this game situation is just, we got the Packers in what seems like an obvious bounce back spot because they just got drilled by the Vikings. And I really don't blame Jordan Love first game back looking, I don't know, he looked like fucking Brett Favre, throwing for a lot of yards, touchdowns, but also a bunch of picks, and had some crucial mistakes against Brian Flores' defense, who was doing that to everybody this year. So I don't really blame him for that. But again, obvious bounce back spot, it seems, going to play a Rams team that's super depleted right now. And you add on to that, I know they're missing Christian Watson after that whole debacle, and everybody thinks Dontavian Wicks is putting up 150 yards this week. But they might be getting Jair Alexander and or Kenny Clark back. So they're getting healthier. So what happens to this line? It drops from Packers -3.5 to Packers -3. So, I mean, that off the bat makes things really, really weird to me. But for all the talk about what the Packers are going to do to the Rams defense, I feel like Stafford is going to have a really good game against this Packers defense too, no matter who's healthy and back. I feel like they started to find their footing. It was a little too late by the time they started to find their footing against a much tougher Bears defense. But I like the direction they're headed in. Add into that, even if Kenny Clark comes back and is playing, That Packers run defense still has not been great this season, and it wasn't last year with him healthy either. So if Stafford's able to settle in, Kyron Williams can have a pretty decent day for one of the first times this year, not including his touchdowns, I feel like that makes everything a world easier. I feel like this is a back and forth game, just one of those that, I don't know, kind of reminds me of what that Niners game was, except it's a much smaller spread, obviously, but close game that I think they edge out and win late.
Yeah. And matchups between LaFleur and McVay are always just a book of chew fest.
Yeah.
I would love to take this under, and honestly, I wish I would have made that the POD, but this game will be going under.
I think the
Bookit
unders hit
Trent
3 of the 4
guaranteed.
times those coaches have faced off.
It's
Wait,
a
hold
book
on.
of chew fest.
Did I just hear a third Bookit with Trent guarantee?
You did.
Did.
Trifecta guarantees.
Did. Rams have not beaten the Packers since 2018. They've lost the last 4 games in a row, and these teams have faced off.
Love that.
Could be the Rams this week.
Love that.
Love it.
This is
Always down to back the Rams.
The get back, the McVay get back. They were in that Bears game for pretty much the whole game until the whole time. Had a couple chances to win it. This game is going to be close. It's going to be within a field goal. I think the Rams win outright.
Okay. Looks like Davante Adams is posting some new stories. He's got the Chicago skyline involved.
No, that's fake. That's fake. He posted an Edgar Allan Poe quote.
You might want to double check again, Goods. There might be a new story up there.
I don't think so.
We got Twitter 3, Steve coming in, resubbing. Love to see that. 24 months. Lancer Golf coming in, resubbing as well. Baxter with a follow. W's. Yes. Good. All right. Goods, you check the Carfax on that, though? It's just a post story. They're capping?
They're capping.
Okay. All right. W confirmation. Gentlemen, I like these plays. I don't love the Trent guaranteed. They all smack, but what are we going to do? It already happened. Let's move. Let's griff. And let's go to some meat on tape. NFL plays that we are absolutely in love with. And there's the consensus Quake Jags. I'll take them. Love them this week. I'll be nuking them. I'll have sneak units on them on the ML. They are not losing this game. I've seen this movie before. The Jags as an 0-4 squad that everybody's hating. I'm seeing videos about people putting, their whole bankroll, half their bankroll on the Jags to miss the playoffs. I feel like this is the week where the Jags finally figure it out, Jovan, and they get a big-time win. Trevor Lawrence, who's just been bitching in the post-game pressers week in, week out, finally gets one this week at home, catching some steam with extremely sharp splits. Yeah, I'll be on the Jags with you gents as well. And this is my favorite play of the weekend. Absolutely obsessed with them and Trevor Lawrence here in the spot. They're going to be the least bet team this entire week against the Colts. Joe Flacco went in that game, and their offense looked even better than when Anthony Richardson was in there in the second half. So I would love to fade Joe Flacco in the Colts after we bet the Colts last week, and they look great. Now is when we take the Jags. You're telling me they're laying -3? They're 0-4. Give me a break. Disgusting line, disgusting bad team. I would love to bet on them. Favorite play of the weekend, Jags ML.
If you want to add some context to it too, a certain somebody, if you go check out the pick at Twitter, dropped the largest bet of their life for 40 units or whatever it was on Jags to not make the playoffs, -400. So they're guaranteed. You can drop another Bookit or Trent guarantee to make it somewhat interesting throughout the rest of the season. I think it starts this week.
Can we get a fourth guarantee here that they miss the playoffs? That'd be huge for their ML this week, Trent.
Yeah. Missed the guarantee to miss the playoffs. I mean, he's already given it to you. Your favorite capper, Alex Caruso.
What is the point? What is the point of
I don't get it.
Of putting 30 units in holding to get back what? 5 max?
Yeah, I don't know. It's his biggest bet of his life. It's never happened. So surely it never happens again.
That just cannot be good. The gambling gods, they take notes on that shit. They hate it. And they got a sick sense of humor, man. I got a feeling we might see history made this season with the Jacks.
Yeah. I mean, they made history just the opposite way last year. So I would not be surprised.
Yeah. You're not wrong. All right. Well, I hope you're wrong with your play here, Jovan, although I know it's a winner, and I'm probably going to sneak bet it. Tell me about why the Browns are going to cover this weekend.
Love the Browns a lot. I have not gotten to the counter with that team, I think, once this year, but I am now. And I'm very anti-fading the Commanders. I've made that very known to you and to everybody here because I think they are actually really good, and they're it's for the most part like that team that I feel like is going to get faded because it can't keep happening. But turns out the public's not on that wave this week. And again, not the only reason why I'm taking it, but not only did they get their big win against the Bengals in front of everybody, but then they had the Cliff revenge game that they went out west to do, which was a masterclass. But yeah, they come back home where you know everybody's going to be super excited in DC to go to this game with hopes up high. And now the one difference is they get to face the Browns defense. The Browns defense has not been, I would say, as consistently good as they were last year. Part of that has to do with some of the injuries they've had too. But the one difference, you look at the team the Commanders have faced all throughout this season. You know what they haven't seen, Krabs? A single team that's in the top half of the league in man coverage. So the whole reason Cliff is able to get the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands so early is because all he's doing is finding the soft spots in the zone. And not that he's incapable of throwing against man coverage, but against a good team that's going to run a shit ton of it in the Browns, he ain't going to be able to get the ball out of his hands that quick. And he's going to have to use his legs more, and he's going to hold the ball for longer. And I think this is a really tough matchup against a really good defense. It's not like he's playing the Jags defense, which has been really bad, and they run a shit ton of man coverage with a super banged up team. The Browns are going to get pressure. They have really good corners on the outside. So not to say that Jaden Daniels is going to get completely shut down, but this is a tough look for him. And I'm going to tell you that Sean Watson and the boys are going to come into DC, and they're going to get a win outright, unfortunately for your boys.
Yeah, I think you're right. Trent, you talked me off of fading the Manders last week. You were goddamn right. Great fucking call. It was never fading the Manders last week, and I'm happy you talked me off. W's there. But this week,
Can't give him too much credit. He had him in the surge, man.
Yeah.
You're right. But to be fair, this week, I mean, you've seen the tweets already on the feed. People are making graphics. Books are making graphics. Commanders, most public play already. This is like the first time I've ever seen any sort of slurpage about this team in my entire life like this. It cannot go well. And there's football reason into it as well. Brian Robinson has a knee injury. He's trending towards playing potentially, but if he does, he's going to be banged up. Our O-line has overperformed extensively this season, like in an unbelievable fashion. We have a top 5 O-line with, middle of the pack guys, and I hope they keep continuing it. But against a pretty good Browns defense, they might be in for a tough night or tough afternoon on Sunday. Austin Eckler coming back from a concussion, that's huge. But if B-Rob's banged up and not as efficient and effective as he's been, after contact this season, leading the NFL in yards after contact, the Commanders are not going to have their safety net, which has been handing the ball off to B-Rob the whole season. He's been killing it. I think they're going to be in a world of trouble. Noah Brown's out, our second best receiver as well. It's going to be only Terry, and he's going to probably get strapped up. I'm a little bit worried there. It's not a great time to be betting the Commanders this weekend, and they're already the most public play of the weekend.
Yeah, and after everybody and their mom took Marvin Harrison, ladders up to 600, Amari Cooper is going to go.
Dude,
nuclear.
I'm pissed. I literally had him in my little thing I sent you. And then, because I had him last week too, and he fucking chalked. And I was scared to go back to it. I'm definitely going back to him this weekend.
Yeah, you have to.
Fat Girls, that's actually my roommate who's just shit talking me for fading the Commanders.
I knew that was your roommate.
Takes it so personally and gets so butthurt, even though everybody else does it. It's just me, I guess. Okay. Bengals, we've already kind of heard here, but Trent, any other nuggets on the Bengals +3?
No, I'm so confident in Plum's play.
You're going to take
you've already given the guarantee.
Derrick Henry rush yards on Pop Tab?
Bro. That has been sitting at the top of the Pop Tab all week.
Literally since the last week's game hit zeros on the clock.
Gotten bumped down, too.
You guys are putting together the formula to lose coin.
Dude.
Goose did say the same thing about the Royals.
Yeah.
You want to know the formula?
Formula losing coin? Put Gunnar Henderson in any of your swips.
And this is when we move on to the prize pick squares, Gootsy. Here we go. NFL prize pick squares. Already talked about Sam Darnold, fading him this week. I mean, check out the chart for him. He's been killing it. Obviously, you don't even need a check. He's like one of the MVP frontrunners, Sam Darnold. But he's playing against his former team. The lights will be too bright. I love this less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's -135 on the under on the books. It's probably not going to be up long. I've already locked in this with a couple other NFL squares this weekend because I'm worried about it getting taken off again. But Sam Darnold, I'm the most confident about the square that I have been about any square this NFL season. Sam Darnold has not thrown 2 touchdown passes. There's no chance. Take this less than, please, chat responsibly this weekend. and I'll meet you at the cash counter. And they're already saying it's off the board.
Wow.
God damn it. Are you kidding me?
Hopefully, this doesn't end up like the combo under pass yards.
Well, that was just a generational Mooshit square, Trent. Generational Mooshit square. Generational. Terrible. And yeah, it is off the board. That is Moose. That's Moose.
That is Moose.
Oh, but I mean, even his fantasy score being at 16.5 after being the greatest quarterback in the NFL is enough for me to want to fade there too.
Yeah.
So if we end up having to take that less then and pivots, I've already locked in the less than 1.5 before they took it off this morning, but let's pray it comes back up. It probably won't because of the odds, but Sam Darnold ain't throwing 2 passing touchdowns. I'll tell you that much. And I love the under in that game for Minnesota team total.
Sure.
Okay. And then Kyler Murray, I mean, another guy who, if you look at his charts, you're like, why the heck is he at 18.5 fantasy score? It's because they might win this game outright. And it's my favorite over of the weekend in a game where I think either defense is going to look like they're fucking blindfolded. I think Kyler Murray moving from plus 9.5 to plus 7.5 after not a great performance, after they scored in the first drive in their last game, and they pretty much stalled out. This is the perfect time to back points in this game in Arizona, moving down from plus 9.5 to plus 7.5. A great sign. The splits on the over look good. We're getting points in this game. A lot of offensive weapons for Arizona receiving wise. They have high numbers this weekend, and for good reason. Kyler Murray legacy performance against the 49ers. He might win this game outright. I'll take his more than 18.5 fantasy score. I think he runs, and I think he's great through the air mainly.
Sure. You know, I like Kyler this week, so I'm in.
He's better this week. Yep.
What about his rush yards?
I think he's going to be more effective passing, personally.
Trent is a Kyler rush yards merchant, dude.
But I know last week he only had 3 and he's up for 30.5, but he's been crushing that number every other game. I would rather just go with his combo probably. He's also got a 1.5 pass plus rush plus receiving touchdown square that he's only hit in one of his last 5 games. Every square up on Prize Picks makes me think this guy's going to absolutely fucking play great. I almost said shove and deal like he's a baseball player, but he's got a 21 completion square up Trent. He only had 16, 21, 17 in his last 3. It's red as heck. You're telling me when they're getting 7.5 points, he's up for 21 pass completions?
Yeah, I feel like
He's
that
tweaking.
kind of makes sense considering they're such big dogs.
It could be an NL game script, sure. Could be coming from behind there, passing, yes. He's up for 4.5 rush attempts after only rushing once last week, but he rushed 5 times in each of the first couple games.
Damn, he only rushed once last. Or I guess they're getting.
Yeah, he only had 3 yards.
They were getting moosed.
All right. Kyler Murray's going off this weekend. Take his fantasy score. Don't think twice about it. Jovan.
No, we're going. We're dropping tonsils, dude. We're dropping tonsils.
Wow.
This one, I mean, people are starting to get on this now for the wrong reason because they're talking about wide receiver 1 versus the Colts like they did with the Commanders last week. I mean, Brian Thomas is not wide receiver 1. He's the best wide receiver on the team, but he doesn't operate like that. So stupid reasoning. Why I've seen this on Twitter a little bit this morning, but we were talking about it yesterday on Sweats. He's going off. Like Jags are winning this game. Trevor Lawrence is going to have his first really good game of the season, and there's ample opportunity against that secondary. So he's going to have a boom game, similar to like when I took him against the Browns, even though that was a much tougher matchup. He's going to be their deep threat. They've been talking all week about getting him more vertical down the field and targeting him there. Same shit that the Bucs said about Mike Evans, leading up to this week. And you look how that game played out last night. They targeted him down the field quite a bit. So this is a Brian Thomas game, and I will be investing. I will be getting some demons involved, and I will splooge when he has probably the best game of his career so far.
Wow.
And then Jaden Daniels. I love the Browns this week, but again, one of the reasons why Jaden Daniels hasn't faced man coverage. I feel like he's going to have to hold the ball for a little longer, and not only the fact that he's going to hold the ball longer, but he's not going to have many options to go to because I think the Browns defense is going to be strapping up those wide receivers. And he doesn't have his check down option or his top check down option. And Brian Robinson, when he's actually in the game, then Eckler is going to be a little banged up. He's going to be playing some of the time, maybe not. So it's going to be a little McNichols. He's going to be taken off. This line has been sitting the last 2 weeks at that 47.5 and hasn't budged. Like last week, it ended exactly on 47. Now it's starting to tick up. And I think it's starting to tick up for good reason because he's going to have to run a lot more than he did in those last 2 games where one was a shootout back and forth where nobody was really stopping him on the Bengals side through the air. And then last week they were up 1 million points from the get-go. So really didn't have to take off for much once he got into that second half, especially. He's going to have to run in this game. I feel like this is when we get, I don't know, something similar to like what we saw week 1 in the Bucs game where he ran for, almost 90? I think we get a stealing week this week.
I fucking hope so, man. Great sell job as well. Jaden Daniels getting those legs up and moving again after a couple passing weeks, right? I think this is the perfect time to hop in and take that rushing yards. Love it. And then, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., just say the word, and I'm starting him in fantasy. I'm in.
Should.
Love it. All right. W Prize Pick Squares, Jovan, Trent. What are we crafting up? And what do you know? Another 2-piece. You guys have the same squares.
Look how far in my duff I was, chat.
You mean your fucking duff, man.
I had no idea you would be on this.
I literally told you last night I was going to be on it.
When?
I said, tell me this is not fucking air. I was talking to Rav, and you're like, dude, what's the 2-piece? And I was like, touchdown, Brian Thomas yards.
I didn't even fucking hear that.
I showed it to you. You looked at it.
Dude, I swear to fucking God, bro. I swear to God.
We have it on. It's clippable.
Go find the fucking clip. Go find the clip.
The clip can be found. I will go and find the clip.
Let's go find it. I'll tell you why I put this in here. Because I see it being a very similar matchup as to what last week was for fucking Pickens. Which is what I had meat on tape for, which you also thought I fucking stole from some bozo on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which was air.
That's fair. That's fair.
John's checking receipts.
Which was fucking air.
Should I play the clip you sent yesterday, Javon? Or this morning, maybe?
Oh, you should. Yeah. Play that clip.
No.
Yes, play that clip. We need that clip. We need that clip.
Need to play
that.
Dude. We don't need to play that one, but just know we have that back pocket trend. You better be good. We got that one back pocket. All right. W squares. W teamwork there with both you guys and Brian Thomas Jr. It's a good thing you guys are on the same square.
The Kyron Williams play. I was looking to target a running back's attempts in a game that I think is going to be Book of Chew all game. After seeing what's his name did last week on the Niners, dude that Shelly faded, I fucking forget.
Jordan Mason.
I was like, dude, why am I not just looking for spots where I feel like it's going to be Book of Chew all game, and they're going to utilize the fuck out of their running back and give him the ball. I really wanted to take his attempts, but as you guys know, I'm yet to hit a single attempt square on the season, so I couldn't do that. But I didn't know what to take, rush receiving, but then he's going to score. So I just said, fuck it. Give me his fantasy score. Give him the ball. It's going to be Book of Chews. Need a touchdown or two.
All right. You know, I've seen worse squares. I love the Brian Thomas angle. Kyron has been tweaking all season. Gucci, I still have not given you your flowers for defending your guy, Kyron Williams. He's been a problem.
Told you.
This season. He's been a problem.
Told you.
He's got so much heart. He might be Austin Eckler 2.0. Although he's playing better than him right now.
No, we were saying Austin Eckler 2.0 Krabs.
Because of the kind of player he is. He's a hard worker. He might not be the most talented, might not be the biggest guy, but he's a hard worker. He is. He's Austin Eckler.
Touchdown merchant, dude.
Maybe, but you still got to score him. All right. W Prize Pick Squares here, gentlemen. Great work. We're going to get to the squad ride here in a moment. Any honorable mentions / Trent? Do you want to go over any questions for Surge 6 here? Looking at some favorites on the NFL slate.
Check. Echoes.
It's gone now. We're good.
Echo.
We're good.
Yep, you're good. Yep, you're good.
And are we?
And it's back.
Nope, not anymore. Nope, not anymore.
I don't know how we've been doing this for 4 years. We don't have this.
There we go.
Check. We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Word.
Trent, what favorites are catching your eye for the Surge 6 this weekend? We've already mentioned a couple, but would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, let me ask you about the Bears. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if I'd be sprinting to the books to take the Bears against Carolina this week. I'll be honest. After Chicago's first good game, Carolina coming off a loss, I probably would lean Carolina there. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit scared by the Bears. They could lose that game outright.
I'm a little scared too. Not gonna lie. But I also wouldn't blame you for just saying, fucking show me. Prove the Panthers can win a game on the road against the Bears.
Yeah, I might have to, despite how scary it is. looking at the other games, dude, there's not too many options.
Yeah.
I feel like a couple options we know. Seattle is a pretty good one if you're okay with laying
Yeah.
that much juice.
Yeah.
The Jags,
What kind of question is that, man?
right? Yeah, I shouldn't even said that. Wasting words. The Jags, right? The
Yeah.
Jags on the ML, another great piece. You're probably gonna have to get a dog involved, whether it's the Rams or whether it's maybe the Bengals, right? Maybe one of those two. Shit, maybe even both. The Browns. I feel like also a dog that you can put in there as well if you want to get weird. But you might have to lean on some more dogs this week.
Yeah, the third 6 might be plus 2,000.
Yeah, seriously. I'm starting to come around to the Steelers a little bit.
Yeah, I need
I
to
don't know if
know
I'm going to bet it myself.
who's Carey taking home.
I feel like Carey might be taking home the Steelers here.
Wow.
Ride with Rev.
I'm starting to come around to it. Yeah, Rav Steelers. Earlier in the week, I kind of like the Cowboys a little bit, starting to kind of switch over to Pittsburgh and realizing that the line might not matter too much in this game. And I just want to back the squad that's playing much better. And I'm very, very worried about the Cowboys defense at this rate. I think they're fucking moose shits. And I think losing my guy Dan Quinn now was a key L. Micah Parsons banged up. A lot of those guys not happy. Even coming off that win in their last game, I think it could be the Steelers here, continuing to prove people wrong. And I have a rule. I don't fade Mike Tomlin at home. I really don't. I would play the Steelers here.
One rule of the third 6 is you don't fade the Steelers.
Yeah, that should be a rule. Good.
Because they will beat you in the most demoralizing fashion.
Yeah, in the worst game ever. And they won't even
Worst
deserve it.
fucking game ever, and they don't deserve it.
They'll beat you
I
with
feel
no
like
offensive touchdowns.
I feel like the Surge 6 definitely has more rules than that.
No, there's a couple rules.
I feel like the Packers were also in that conversation after last week or after last year. So I feel like they sold like 3 or 4 by themselves.
Yeah, for sure. But just literally anytime, like every time I bet against the Steelers, it never works out. Ever.
Mm-hmm. I think you might have to put them in, put some respect on their names. Maybe they'll treat you right.
Thoughts on what's the Monday night game?
Saints Chiefs.
Oh yeah, fuck that game.
I'll probably be on the Saints in that game.
Yeah. Kish, dude, you're just saying that to you get a win for your squad. So fuck you.
Please don't take the Vikings.
Yeah, no, we don't wake up at 7 a.m. Rule number 2.
Yeah, that is another
I
rule.
like that rule.
I feel like you broke that once and it was cake and you're pissed.
Oh, I'll never forget
remember
waking up to moose shit.
It was Bills Jags, wasn't it last year?
No, it was Giants Packers like 2 years
yeah,
ago.
it was.
And
Did you
Rodgers,
send a backup Surge 6 right after it too? Just like crossed it out and like edited it on Snapchat or something and put out a new one? Sure.
Yeah.
I remember that.
All right, you're telling me the Niners are losing outright?
Probably not outright, but I do think the Cardinals cover. But yeah, you're probably going to need to put San Fran in there on the ML at this point. San Fran, Seattle, Steelers, Jags, and then 2 dogs. Maybe the Bengals and the Rams.
So
I feel like if you're not going to bed with your guarantees, I feel like that's a waste of
so
opportunity.
one of those has to go in, not both.
One of those
And
two
that's where I need to see Andy Dalton prove to me that he can win this game.
Yeah.
I
That's
figured
fair.
we'd be coming back to the Bears. Yep. And you know what? I don't hate it. Caleb Williams and the Bears still not getting a ton of respect, although they are coming off their best game probably. I'd rather you take that than a lot of the other weird favorites.
And I'm more than down to strap in with Josh again. You guys need to witness Josh watch a Bears game. Like,
Might have to see that.
It's something.
I don't know if I want to, man.
No, it's hilarious, bro. It gets you into the game for sure.
Is he like angry? Describe him watching his Bears in one word.
I don't know if I have a word for it, dude. But he just knows every fucking player on the field, and like just can predict the fucking play before it happens, like he's Tony Romo.
Sure. He might as well be commentating in the booth. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you might have to ride with Josh and the Bears then. I don't like any other favorites, really. I mean, I think Houston might be a decent look, but I don't know if you want to fade Josh Allen right now in this economy.
I have a bad feeling about that game.
Yeah, fuck that game.
That it's going to end. I mean, just when nobody is expecting it, fucking Bills are going to come in and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Some injuries on both sides as well. Yep.
Yeah, it's a weird game.
See that being an alt spread of 2 touchdowns is hitting in that game.
Kind of agree. One way or the other. I think it might be the Bills.
All right. Trent, any other cues for the Surge 6 before we move and groove onto some squad ride action?
I might have it.
You might already have it.
If anyone in chat has a way to contact fucking Visions by Kyle, please let me know. Would love to see his take on editing the Surge 6 video.
That could be the difference, dude.
Could be.
People sleep on the fact that I still have to tail once again until you fucking hit one. It's
I
gonna
know.
be locked.
Yeah. So you better get involved with that,
This is
Jovan.
week 3.
You better help him out.
donated.
You might have to. It's that meme of I'm trying to remember what it was. The fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles holding the guy's hand. You might have to hold Trent's hand through this process.
Yeah, I just
Straight up.
need him to get past the first drive, dude. It's all I'm asking.
Dude, can
Look,
we get past
you're
the
due.
first fucking drive?
You're
I'm
due,
begging.
Trent. You're due. Lock in this week. Take some of those Phil's nugs we gave you today. I think you're in a really good spot. Your head's in the right place here with the Surge 6 this weekend, and you are more than due to at least get up to the counter, get close to it, right? You haven't even sniffed the counter the last couple weeks. You've had some bad luck. I think this week the luck turns back around.
I feel like you have
It's gonna be
a really good shot to make it at least to the afternoon games.
Well, that's
all
what
we
I'm,
need.
that's
Sure.
see, this is sad that I have to like strategize this, but the Bengals are the first slate. The Rams are the late slate. So do we give ourselves a shot and take the Rams and not the Bengals so we can make it out of the morning?
This is why
Hey, you
like
can't lose
pick
if
the
you don't bet.
fucking winners, man. What are you worrying about time slots for?
You know, he has a point. You can't lose if you don't play, right? You can't lose a 1 p.m.er if you don't put one in. Bro.
I just want to make it
Yeah.
out of the fucking morning, dude.
All jokes aside, if you want to make it out of the morning, then all you need to do is throw the lines to the sides, throw the time slots to the side,
You're
throw whatever
so
you've been told to the side, and just pick your 6 favorite winners. Pick
So
6
right.
teams who are winning the fucking football game.
So right. I wish I honestly didn't look at the spreads.
Don't look at shit. Pick 6 teams who are winning. Act like you're a fucking caveman. You don't even have pen and paper. You don't got a computer. You don't got shit. Keep it simple. Pick 6 teams winning football games. It's the only chance you got.
We're worried about getting to 3:30 when we've been dead at 12:05 for the past 2
worry
weeks.
about getting through the 1 o'clocks, man. Shit.
Or even just the first quarter of the 1 o'clock.
Yeah, how about just one game? Yeah.
One drive, dude. We have spawned down immediately in every single week this far.
All right. Good pep talk there. That could be the difference for Trent this weekend here. I got a good
Yes.
feeling. All jokes aside, maybe that's a good thing we were risking the Surge 6 there for a sec. That could turn it around.
Yeah,
Change the
good.
vibes. Look, Trent, you're more than due. Let's get one this weekend. Lock in, and for Javon's bank account's sake, please hit one of these soon.
Especially after a full fade from Trent on the preview. This could be his week to hit a surge.
This is his week. I
That's
think
where
he
you buy
returns
stock.
to early season form here. Yep. Sure. All right. Gentlemen, W show, W episode, W weekend previews here. Why don't we lock in and get the squad ride moving and grooving? Goodsy, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. We are 3-0 in the month of October for squad rides. Let's keep it that way. Let's stay perfect. No fucking else in that column whatsoever. I want to stay perfect through the weekend. We'll have a squad ride for tonight. We'll have a squad ride for tomorrow that we can vote for right now, college football. And we'll do a poll on Twitter on Sunday morning. So do not forget about that. Don't let that get swept. There will be a Sunday squad ride. All right, so lock in, tap in. Jovan, let's start with tonight's and some of our favorite plays. Where's your head at? What is your number one play that you really want to see in this squad ride poll?
Might be Q's.
+6.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me check the Carfax. See what's going on here. Q's +6. Sure.
Trent, you got any plays in the college football games tonight?
I have not done my lab work. I was actually putting shots up with pork.
No way you're putting shots up with pork this early.
Yeah, dude.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
They better have been
Trent
going
might
in if
want
you're
it,
taking
dude. Trent
AM
might want
shots. Okay. Syracuse +6. We'll put that in there.
it. Maybe a conch is active. You got some lab work done.
I didn't even get to hear what you guys were on. What are you guys on?
Q's
Jovan?
+6.
No way you're on fucking Syracuse.
Yes.
No.
Trent's least favorite team ever. Yep.
Yeah. I'm on Q's +6 and Houston team total over.
Sure. I've got Kennesaw State team total under, Syracuse UNLV under 56, and the Liberty Aces under late night in the WNBA.
Yeah, we got Ma and Pa's Aces with back against the wall for elimination tonight.
People forget.
Which one of
That total-
these? Which one of these double-digit spreads tonight is losing outright?
College football.
Mm-hmm. Probably the Frogs, low key.
Definitely not Jacksonville State.
I mean, these are fat spreads. It's not like these are 10-point spreads.
If Squad Ride is Syracuse, we will be joining the Battle of Berg.
That's all we need to see. Took a Battle of Bergen squad ride last night. People forget. Shit in 3 quarters. So we welcome those.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know if I see any of them losing, to be honest.
Okay.
I think there'll be
mean-
a close call. I mean, I could see the TCU game being close for a bit. Maybe Michigan State gets it a little closer at some point, but I don't really know.
TCU is probably the one that I'd be scared about the most. Jacksonville State's playing the worst team in college football, and I think Oregon covers against Michigan State. Maybe it's Houston against your guys' Frogs. Could be. Jovan, speaking of the Devils, you want to put Houston in this puppy, their team total?
I mean, yeah, I'm down for that.
Houston team total over 16.5. I want to put my most confident play in here, and it's the Liberty Aces under. It's down to 164.5 now.
Wow. Mon
Yep.
Pa's Aces.
Yep. Any qualms?
No qualms.
Okay. That play is smacking. I think we go with those 3 plays, quality over quantity, for today's squad route.
Sure.
Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. Get those votes in. We've got Syracuse +6. We've got Houston team total over 16.5. And we've got Liberty Aces under 164.5. And Trent, sorry if I'm saying Houston, if that's giving you PTSD. I could stop calling them that or bringing up that name. Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. All right, we've got Syracuse +6. We've got the Cougars over 16.5 and Liberty Aces under 164.5. Lock in.
Dude, Trent, I can't believe you're going to enact Berg for this potential squad ride, but you won't enact Berg in Cal Miami this weekend. It's actually soft. So
Dude,
soft.
fuck that.
What do you mean, fuck that?
I
You guys don't
hate
want to lose money on your fucking crystal ball prediction.
I hate betting on that conference so much.
Dude, you're
So
such an
much.
East Coast hater, bro. You hate the ACC.
It's the worst. I fucking
Now they got
hate it.
Cali schools in there, bro. They
Yeah,
got your
good Cal.
Stanford, your Cal. They got SMU down there by you.
I don't mind those programs.
Sure. What do you think about the Hokies?
It's really like just the Hokies, Duke, UNC, fucking Miami, Florida State. I fucking hate them. The
Yeah.
worst product.
Unbelievable, man.
Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. Lock in. Looks like it's going to be Syracuse as of right now. See how that plays out.
Might have
Nobody
to
wants Mom
might have to do 5 guys on stream real quick, Krabs.
Yeah.
feel like the off-stream Five Guys crafting is fuck the vibes.
Yeah, because you guys put shit in. I'm like, when did you even talk about that?
Well, we've wanted to do it off stream because that way we don't have to rush it.
I feel that.
And that treated us pretty well, at least in the second half of the season last year, and we pivoted to that. But I mean, if Jovan, if that's what you want, man, happy to deliver, happy to do it now.
Yeah, I
Whatever
saw
you think.
somebody mentioned that earlier in the chat, and I'm in. I feel like that could bring the
I don't
vibes
know.
back.
Chat might not want it enough, though. They might want us to just wrap up here. They might not want to see us craft up a weekend 5-piece on Prize Picks. In Syracuse. Sure. Yep. Chat. Syracuse +6. Easy. Cutesy, we still got some time now, I believe, for that. I think it's at like 4 our time. Syracuse +6. Squad ride. Sure. W's. Why don't we do the squad ride poll for tomorrow, Jovan? We'll see if chat wants it. I don't know. They're starting to talk a little bit in the chat about wanting us to craft it up live. They're starting to show a little bit of heart in the chat right now. We'll see. Do they want it?
I don't know if they want it.
I don't know. Might need to see some more heart. Well, Arius wants it. He dropped the
wants
5-unit whale. Okay.
And he said craft
Okay.
now. See, that's all.
All
we
right,
need.
Arius.
wants
You
it.
get what you want, Arius. Chat,
right.
you guys are lucky.
So, question,
You're
Krabs.
lucky.
How are we going to do this with the Saturday squad ride? Because we know what it's going to be if we put it in.
Cal, I mean, I'm fine. Like, it's fine.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine with me. I'm just saying, like, there's probably no point of even running a poll if that's in it.
We'll run it for, transparency purposes. But yes, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I will be on Cal as well, telling you. You've been very confident on this for weeks. Got no qualms when that wins the poll. I'll be happy.
Yeah, neither do I.
I like Washington ML a lot.
Yeah, like that. And on that.
Put that in there. Cal +10.5. Washington ML.
Aggies.
Like that
maybe?
Hawaii play as well, man. But yeah,
Ooh,
Texas.
Hawaii sneaky play. People forget.
Yeah. I like Georgia too. You want to go Texas A&M?
Be so down to go Aggies ML.
Can't believe that wasn't on your weekend preview, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, honorable mention for Texas A&M. There, I will be on them, of course. I just couldn't fit. I had the meat play reserved for Cal, and if we're talking blowouts, I mean, I don't think Texas A&M is going to be a blowout, so Georgia kind of fit the card a little better.
Yep. All right. What else? We have one more play for college football that we love tomorrow. I really liked your JMU Monroe under as well. I like my Indiana Northwestern under. Arizona team total over late night. UNC or Hawaii. You feel any certain way about some of those plays?
What was your take on VT Stanford?
I like that play. The over. I'm
feel
worried
like you were
about that
kinda alluding-
random defensive legacy performance we're going to get from the Hokies at some point. They just got too many
Okay.
guys, and there's also that QB injury with, Stanford as well. So maybe we hold off on that for this.
Okay, fair. What'd you say, Georgia?
I like Georgia. I like Rav's Penn State play. Hawaii, UNC.
Well, I've got plays in this already, so you can make the call.
You know what? I'm just going to trust my gut here and go with the best play, best sell job I heard. It's that JMU UL Monroe under 48.5. It's not fun. It's not pretty, but it's hitting.
There we go.
You cool with that?
Yeah.
Word. We'll go with those 4. Cal +10.5, Washington ML, Texas A&M ML, and JMU UL Monroe under 48.5. 4 plays, 4 winners. Okay? 4 plays, 4 winners, chat, for the college football squad ride tomorrow. Lock in. If you're wondering where this poll is, it is in the Twitch chat. Get involved. If you're watching on YouTube, just make your way over to the Twitch chat at Bookit Sports. Could not be easier. Okay, it probably pops up right when you open up the Twitch app. Get involved. Get a vote in. All right, every vote counts the same. Everybody's got one. Get involved. I will be voting for Javon's most confident play of the century, Cal +10.5.
There we go.
I'm in there.
All right. Well, while this poll's going, let's talk some Five Guys strategy, and Trent can get involved too.
Sure.
What direction are we taking this weekend? Where do we start?
I say we start with one leg we know should be in there. It's Brian Thomas.
Yes, I agree.
I'm in for that. Adding this to the bottom of the outline, Jovan, by the way.
Huge.
Brian Thomas, more than 54.5 receiving yards. Is he still up at 54.5?
56.5 now.
I fucking bet he is. Good. Keep on moving. Move it to 60. I don't care. Awesome. Well, I would have said Sam Darnold less than 1.5 passing touchdowns has to go in here, but that's gone off the board. So,
What's your other square?
I mean, I love Kyler Murray more than 18.5 fantasy score as well.
Ooh. Could be so down for that.
Love that square.
Realistically, though, is he getting, I don't know the math off the top of my head, is he getting 19 fantasy score without 2 touchdowns?
It's probably tricky with him rushing yards wise, which kind of scares me, right? Like if he's just a yards merchant and doesn't find the end zone, but I do like that 1.5 pass rush receiving tutty square. I just wanted to encompass, his whole play in this game, and the fact that he's at 18.5 fantasy score against a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, I feel like is enough.
Huh.
Also, Cal plus 10.5 squad ride W's.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Coming.
Sure. Play of the cinch. I think it's Kyler Murray fantasy score, and you just keep it simple, and he's doing his job in a game with a very high total.
Yeah, I'm down to ride with your square, Krabs.
Chat, you guys don't see.
I just don't know how he doesn't get that without the touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head. I don't know how we get there. Unless he runs for like 150.
That would be Moose.
I don't know how do you get 18 fantasy points without 2 touchdowns? Has that ever happened? You got to have a Kirk Cousins type of fucking yards game.
You guys want to go with the 1.5 pass rush receiving tutties?
Not if you're uncomfortable with it, but
I don't think it really matters.
It's your squares. I mean, you take a hold of it, but I'm trying to figure out what would have to happen for him to get 18.6 fantasy and not have 2 touchdowns. He would have to be buried.
I already have his fantasy score locked in at something, so I'm down to pivot for this and take his 1.5 pass rush receiving tutties.
And it's red as cooch, dude.
Yeah, it's red as heck. I'm in. Red as cooch. I like points. I like them to cover. I like Kyler Murray in the game. Love the square. All right, so we've got 2 NFL Geysermans. I feel like now we'd probably take our attention to maybe college football and see
then we can circle back.
What we're loving over there for squares this weekend. I mean, I've got a square and a nasty fades. Fafita more than pass yards, and Malik Murphy, the Duke QB, who's overrated, less than passing tutties. Personally, I probably like Fafita better, but I also like my NFL squares much better than the college. Full transparency. So I do think Fafita tweaks. I'd probably go him over Murphy, but maybe we lean on Jade Knott.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like putting too many touchdown squares in this for non-quarterbacks, but that one is got to be up there for a reason. The fact that it's a normal square, I was planning on taking it anyway, but it's a normal square, which is wild.
I also liked that Ollie Gordon square before we even got on the show today, and was pleasantly surprised when you and Rav both had him.
Yeah. Trent, what are you trying to say?
How are we not taking Gene T 2.5 TDs?
Can't.
Krabs physically could not punch that square in.
Can't.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
I won't be fading him though. He's different, but I can't do it. Can't do it. Jovan, what about Ollie Gordon, man? More than 81.5 rush yards.
I mean, I'm all in for Ollie Gordon. So down for that.
All right. I think they might win that game as well. Shock the world.
I don't know why we're not putting Jade Knott in here.
He just said
what?
because we already have a lot of touchdown, or we already have a touchdown angle.
Well, I wouldn't say
Tyler, I
we don't
guess.
have to put it in. I was just saying that one. I don't usually like putting, or I won't campaign for touchdown squares to be in here, but that one I feel like is.
It's
a
not
good
like
one
we're
to put
asking
here.
for an SGP here. It's literally two fucking different leagues.
Yeah.
It's square. It hasn't been hitting the last couple games, but
It's legit hitting based on my research.
Based on his
Okay.
research.
Jaden,
How about we go to the? Let's see what this final NFL piece is, because I feel like we both like the NFL squares a lot more than the college squares.
Yeah.
We need to find this.
I mean, I really like your
Infinity
Jaden
Stone.
Daniels square, but
I found it. It's on the screen.
Goots,
well, we
man.
could take that less than.
Goots,
Could be
man.
it.
We could take that less than, boys.
That could be it.
Do we have the nuts?
I don't know if we have the nuts.
I do.
I don't know if we have the nuts, Krabs.
I got him. God, Jaden Daniels' passing yards is so popular. Why don't we keep it simple and take his rushing yards, man?
Either that or something Kyron Williams.
Ooh, did not hate
I want
that.
to check out those Kyron squares, Trent.
Like, I'm so down for Jaden Daniels, but I was just not trying to push. I mean, we have all 4 of my weekend squares in here, which I'm fine with, but I'm not trying to be that guy.
No, I'm taking credit for Brian Thomas.
Okay.
All right, you can take credit for that.
Amari Cooper potential.
Cooper,
Kyron potential.
Go Will Deshaun.
Ooh.
That looks good, dude.
Ooh.
I love taking red shit.
Will Deshaun, who doesn't have fucking normal passing yard square up for some reason.
Yeah, why does he not have normal pass yards?
He only has pass and rush yard combo. Super weird. Probably because he's going to absolutely tweak in this game. Huh.
I mean, I gotta say though, I would be so able to just rest head on pillow with Amari Cooper and call it.
More than down.
Amari
Especially after
Cooper,
he
more
sold
than
the world
53 and a
last
half
week.
receiving yards. Yeah.
Sold
Okay.
the world, dude. Right back.
He
to
sold
it.
the world, and then so did the wide receiver one against the Commander system last week.
Yep. And
Yeah.
guess who? Both were in the Nukenheimer. Both of those guys.
That could be system.
All right, I'm in. Give me Amari Cooper more than 53 and a half receiving yards.
Love it.
So right now we've got Ollie Gordon, more than rush yards. Brian Thomas, more than receiving yards. Amari, more than receiving yards.
Dude.
Kyler Murray, more than 1.5 pass rush receiving tutties. Need one more square. Probably ideally it would be college.
Yeah, we got to get a college square in here, man. I'm looking through these games. Krabs, what if it's Megatron?
Dudes. I don't know if I want to fade the Hokies defense this week, man.
What's wrong with this 5 right here? That looks like it's fucking hitting.
We could put out in there. We were kind of trying to get away from just putting all of Javon's squares in here for this lineup.
I don't really
Yeah, we need some Krabs involvement.
Do we?
Trent. Trent, you want to put your Quavius pork receiving yards you take every week in here?
No, I don't. It's probably free, but no.
Fucking pork, man.
I like my prize pick squares better for today.
What
than
are
I
they?
do for tomorrow. What are they? Immediately goes, what are they? I'll tell them to you real quick. It is, well, they took off one of them. God damn it. I got to check and see if they put it up. But it was Oronde Gadsden, more than 4.5 catches for Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
but that one's gone, I think. Chat, let me know if they put it back up. And then it's Haj Malik Williams, less than 1.5 passing touchdowns, which I'm extremely confident in. Love the under in the game. We're on Syracuse on the squad ride. He had his great debut for UNLV last week. He was the Campbell starter for a while, came over there, was supposed to be the starter at UNLV. And that kid showed up, took the spot, and then dipped after 3 games. I think they come back down to earth, and after a great first game, he takes a step back, and he's also more of a rushing QB anyways. Looked great through the air last week. I think he'll look like fucking Kyron Drones this week, throwing the ball all over the place, looking like shit.
Look, we got my square up there, Krabs, then Jovan, then 2 more. What were the other 2? Fucking Cooper, who's literally just a consensus pick.
Yeah.
And
who's the other one we have in there?
Oh my God,
We've got Ollie, Brian Thomas, Amari Cooper, and Kyler Murray.
Dudes, can you scroll down on the bar there so I can see it? Ollie Gordon, Amari Cooper. Dude, yeah, we got one Jovan playing there, dude. He's taking credit for the whole goddamn slip.
We were also counting pot.
Do you want to make it more NFL centered since we like NFL more for the squares, Jovan, anyways, and just try to smack one here and just go with one college with Ollie Gordon? Maybe we add Jaden Daniels rushing yards in here. That shit's smacking. And we go about our day.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Swear to God, you say something Dodgers, I'm out.
He was about to say something baseball, wasn't he? Yep. 100%.
What square were you about to fucking say, dude?
I was going to say someone's case.
I mean,
somebody's.
I think we put JD5 in here, dude. Yamamoto
case.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels. Just put Jaden Daniels in there, man.
Let's
Don't
put
fucking
rushing yards in there.
There's no need to blame Jovan for getting too surgical.
Jaden Pork.
I get a number check for Daniels, Jovan.
49.5.
Love it. Absolutely love it, gents. Okay. I'm going to lock this in now as well before it gets bumped because it does every damn time. Every damn time. Hold on one sec. Chat, I'll read this off, but it is up there on the screen, but I will read it off while I lock this puppy in. Ollie Gordon, more than 81.5 rushing yards. We've got, now we go to the NFL, Jaden Daniels, more than rushing yards.
Wow.
We've got Amari Cooper in the same damn game, more than 53.5 receiving yards.
Same gamer.
Same game, same time. Brian Thomas, more than 56.5 receiving yards. And we close it out with Kyler Murray on the roads. More than 1.5 pass rush receiving tutties. Wow. It's glorious. It's beautiful. And it's been locked in.
Locked.
Love that 5 guys lineup. Love that. All right. W's. Well, this was an absolute Megalodon BTL episode. I'll tell you that much. Jovan, we can craft the Hail Mary up offline if you're cool with that. We'll wrap this puppy up.
Chat. You can put in the chat legs you guys think should be in the Hail Mary. That one will craft off because we've been out here for a minute.
Sure. Yeah. What do you guys want to see in the Hail Mary lay for the weekend? Let us know. Okay. WBTL today. That was an absolute Megalodon. Let's hope we cash these bets. I feel confident about the prize pick squares for tonight. I'm trusting in Jovan's straight bets. We've got Syracuse +6 on the spread for the squad ride tonight. And then tomorrow, the damn Cal Bears. Jovan, you've been looking forward to this for months. Any final words before we depart here and wrap this puppy up?
I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do if Cal wins that game outright. We might have to pull out a 24-hour if that happens. At least maybe not a 24-hour, but we'll do an all weekend stream. All Saturday, all Sunday with a little sleep in between.
Wow.
Chat would
if Cal wins outright?
Cal wins outright. We'll do that shit. We'll get it up and moving probably the weekend after.
Wow. All right. You heard it here first, chat. If you're not taking Cal plus 10.5, why are you even here? Lock it in responsibly tomorrow. Get involved. And tonight, we'll meet you at the cash counter when Syracuse hopefully wins outright. Gentlemen, W episode. Thank you for joining. Let's have an absolute day and cash all of our wagers and prize picks lineups. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Same time, same place. We'll be seeing. And go
Nice,
watch the coin
fellas.
toss, will you? Go watch that.